We are live. What's going on, guys? How are y'all doing today? You know what? I look like crap, been sick, but let's get on camera. Let me share screen, do this so it looks better. All right, I like the look of that better. I really don't like using StreamYard, which I'm on right now, but my XSplit was acting weird because it got an update. So the topic of today is George Kambosos versus Devin Haney. Who wins? Should Kambosos fight Devin Haney next? That is a real question. And I'm going to say if I was George Kambosos, I would jump on Devin Haney right now. Before he gets any better, before he looks any different, before he builds up power. If he can build up power, I would do it now. Because Devin Haney, to me, does not look physically there. Like he looks. What's going on, JD Boxing? I'm having an all right Sunday, still a little sick, but getting better every single day. We're now into day 7. So I've already came down the hill, starting to recover. Or would it be going up the hill? Would you go up the hill? But down the hill means, well, either way, you could say it either way. Falling down the hill could be a bad thing, or making it over could be a good thing as well. So however you want to say it, I'm either coming up the hill, feeling good, or I'm going down over the hump, feeling better walking away from it. I appreciate that. How are you doing today? Up the hill? Yeah, it could be either way. It could be either way. But let's see here. Hold on. Let me do this real fast because I did say this would be an open panel if people join. We're not going to be on for too long because I don't want to be on for too long. Not feeling great. Don't look like I'm ready to get on a scale. You know what I'm saying? Don't like how I'm looking right now, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll look better next week. But the topic at hand is Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. As I was saying before I saw your comment, if I was Kambosos, I would jump on him right now because to me, looking at Devin Haney fight, Linares, Diaz, past fights, something's missing. I don't know what's missing with Devin Haney, but the more I watch him fight, the more I analyze him fighting, he's missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the weight cut is truly sapping his strength and energy. It could be. He could be losing way too much weight, but normally when you're young, you can overcome being weight drained because your body heals so quick, it recovers so fast that normally you don't get weight drained when you're young. Normally. Let me see. The scorecards didn't go in my prediction, but I did warn you about Haney's weight issues and JoJo's body punching. Yeah, and that's what I'm starting to think, JD. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, we do know this. Here's what we do know. If you are weight drained, you're less punch resistant, meaning you can get knocked out easier. Shots hurt you a lot more because your body's weak. We know you tend to slow down. We know you lose endurance late, which I didn't really see Haney getting tired, but we do know you can lose endurance late, and we know you can lose a lot of power. Now, he lacks punching power. So, could these be the signs of a weight drained fighter, like you said, JD? And again, he did come on 135 on the dot, bang on, like you said, his last couple of fights. He didn't miss the weight, but he was dead on 135 even. So you did call that. You did call that. You did. I give you that. My thing with Devin Haney is, if he was to go up in weight, do we truly know he'll be more powerful? Do we truly know it would even make a difference? We don't, because we've never seen him fight at 140. We've never seen him in the gym. We've never seen him sparring. We've never seen him. You know what I mean? You would need a bird's eye view to follow this dude. Watch how he trains. Look at how he looks outside of fight competition, and then really get a gauge on if that is what's causing these physical issues, because I think they are issues. Tony Haney has been coming at 135 for 4 fights straight. I mean, yeah. And he did it for this one. I mean, you called it. You said you thought the towel would happen, but he was bang on. He missed the towel. But again, I don't know. Like, I really do not know. I mean, if you look at JoJo's face, he did have marks on his face. He had a black eye, and he looked like he had been in a fight. Devin Haney, of course, didn't look like he had been in a fight at all. But at the same time, I saw Devin Haney get hit by some shots that I don't think he took very well. No, he didn't get knocked down. No, he didn't get like truly rocked and start stumbling around the ring. But you got to understand, JoJo is a guy that moved up 3 weight classes. And we're not talking about a guy who carries a lot of power. We're not talking about a guy who moved up like Lomachenko did and was making people quit on the stool for 4 fights in a row. JoJo Diaz has never really been a knockout artist. Yes, he puts combinations together good. He's got decent power, but decent at best, and that's in the lower weight classes. I saw him hurt Haney on at least 3 to 4 different occasions. Now, that's not good when you got a guy who is as short as JoJo, who has to get close to you, who really wasn't letting his hands go in this fight, and he hurt you. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going with Kambosos mostly because he's natural at that weight. And here's what I'm looking at. I'm going to tell you honestly, after watching the fight, thinking about the fight, waking up this morning, drinking a Monster, fully waking up. I can only drink half of it, though, because my stomach's still messed up. The thing is Kambosos is going to hit a lot harder than JoJo Diaz. Not only is he going to hit harder, he's going to throw a lot more punches. He's going to be a lot more frequent with his attacks. Not only is he going to be a lot more frequent, but he's a lot faster than JoJo. Not only is he a lot faster than JoJo, but he moves a lot quicker than JoJo. And he's going to stay moving the entire fight, where JoJo kind of just did straight lines. That's all he really... This is the worst I've ever seen JoJo Diaz look in a fight. And that could be a testament to Devin Haney's skills, or it could just be that it was a bad performance by JoJo Diaz. I don't know. But what I do know is, with as easily as Devin Haney was hitting him, we should have seen more. And the few times that Diaz got off, we shouldn't have seen Haney get hurt. Not against a guy that has the punching power of Diaz, especially if he's not smothering you and barraging you on a regular. We should not see the few occasions that you get caught that you are not, in my opinion, reacting well to a guy who would be considered a soft puncher at 135. Let me see what the chat said. I think Haney's durability would be better at 140, but I don't know about the power. But Haney has youth, so it's plausible for Haney to get stronger at higher weights. Both fast, both skilled. So here's the thing, JD. I agree with you that a case in point is Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford looks more dominating at 147 pounds than he did in any past weight class. All right? He looks way better at 147. So there is the possibility that we see Devin Haney go up in weight and his strength carries and he gets more power. But at the same time, even though Crawford looks more dominating at 147 than he did in his past weight classes, at 140, you still saw the power. You still saw it. At 135, you still saw the power in Terrence Crawford. It may not have been as devastating as it is now, but you still saw the power. You still saw that he could crack. When it comes to Devin Haney, it doesn't look like he could crack an egg. It really doesn't. It looks like he could hit an egg 1,000 times with his fist and it would just be there. All right, no cracks, no nothing. And that's the issue that I'm having. Like, and I've said it 1,000 times, like whenever Kambosos was fighting Tio, I said you don't have to have power to win boxing matches, and you don't. But you have to have enough power for people to respect your power. You have to have enough power to keep them off balance. You have to have enough power to disrupt what they're doing at you. If you don't have that type of power, then a guy like Kambosos, who took the best shots Tio had late in the fight in the 10th round and kept coming forward, A guy like that who's, if not as quick as you, damn near just as fast as you, who comes forward to attack. What are you going to do against a guy like that if you can't hurt him? You're not going to be able to escape him because y'all are too close in speed. You're going to have to fight him. You're going to have to out jab him. You're going to have to out straight him. You're going to have to set up combinations. You're going to have to out move him. And if y'all are damn near equal in speed, whether it be foot speed, hand speed, etc., what do you do against a guy like Kambosos if you're Devin Haney? Now, I respect Devin Haney. I give him all the credit in the world because this dude wants to fight everybody. He has the right mentality. He does not want to duck people. He wants to get in there with the best to prove he is the best, and that is the right mindset. But my thing is this. Even though he has a good mind, the best mind that you would want from a champion, that doesn't mean the body always physically follows the mind. It doesn't mean that that person is actually capable of what they want to do. And this is what I'm coming to with Devin Haney. I don't know if he's capable. Well, Haney's jab and reach is key, and he does have longer arms. I believe he has a 71-inch reach to Kambosos with a 68.5-inch reach. Although I'm confused with Haney's height. I'm very confused because Kambosos is supposed to be 5'9.5", and Devin Haney is supposed to be 5'8". However, as you can see in this picture, Devin Haney was clearly taller than Kambosos. But when I saw them at the fight, Kambosos was now taller than Devin Haney. So I don't really know if these dudes wear shoe lifts or what the hell's going on, but their height is very inconsistent with something that should be static. So I'm confused about who's actually taller. On paper, it's supposed to be Kambosos, but I've seen him taller and shorter than Haney. So it doesn't really make any sense to me. And you can't really go off of BoxRec or Wiki because fighters can say they're as tall as they want to be. They can add an inch or two to their height. Haney has a big frame, decent height. Going to be a great fight either way. Got a scoop for food. All right, man. Thank you for stopping through. I appreciate you hitting up the chat. Y'all can hear my dryer going off. That's my washer. It's either my washer or my dryer playing music. I should have done a review on it. I probably will do a review on that washer/dryer. It's the best one I've ever had. But anyways, I digress. Back to the point. My issue with this, and I hope somebody jumps on the panel. I hope some people see me live, jump in so I can get some other input. My issue with this fight is I don't think Devin has anything that can keep Kambosos off of him. And if he can't keep Kambosos off of him, he might get knocked out. Kambosos isn't really a knockout artist, but we saw against Tio, if he can hit a target, it's the washer of pound for pound. Yo, that's the pound for pound king. So is the dryer. They're arguably 1 and 2. You can switch them out however you want. If Devin Haney cannot keep Kambosos off of him and Kambosos can unload on him with the type of punch resistance that I'm seeing from Haney, he very well could get knocked out in this fight. And the thing about it is this. I do not think Kambosos is a Floyd Mayweather Jr. I do not think he's a Terrence Crawford. I do not think he's going to be what Shakur Stevenson, who was mentioned earlier in the chat. I don't think he's going to live up to what I think Shakur will become when it's all said and done. But here's what I will say. And this era that we're in right now with the Ryan Garcia, the Devin Haney, the Teofimo Lopez, who's already been knocked off, the Tank Davis and the Lomachenko, if that's the best at lightweight, this just might be that right era for Kambosos. This might be that guy who would only be a champion in this current era. Because I don't think he stacks up against other greats, at least not yet. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise me too. And as he goes on, maybe he'll move up to 140. Maybe he'll clear out the division. Maybe he's way better than what anybody knows. But visually looking at Kambosos, I don't think he'll be a multi-division champion at different weight classes. I don't think he will be. I can't see him fighting at 147 pounds. I can't see him moving up to 154. I cannot see him moving up to 160. So if he goes up, I think 140 is his cap. So again, I've got to say that this just might be the era for Kambosos. This might be the era where nobody in this division can beat him, because I don't think Tank Davis can beat him either. Now, I've never seen this Isan Cruz fight. I don't know how good he is. I don't know how bad he is. I'm going to watch the fight tonight, see him for the first time, but I would imagine that how, let's say, guarded Tank Davis is, I would imagine that he's going to win this fight pretty easily. I don't think Tank Davis is going to lose to this guy, because TMT, they matched Tank Davis up with guys that he should look good against. I mean, he didn't look so good against Mario Barrios, who's really only a 126-pound fighter. Actually started off smaller than, or was it 122? You know what? Let's see what his first weight class was. It was either, was it 126 or 122? It might have been 122, where Mario Barrios started off with his little baby belt that nobody even fucking cares about, because there's only one champion at 140, and that's Josh Taylor. Fake ass belt. Let's see. He started at 122. That's right, 122 pounds, because he started off smaller than Tank. 122. And he was giving Tank a lot of issues with his height and his reach and his jab. No, I did say Loma. I did say Loma, JD. Yo, that would be something if this Isan Cruz drops Tank or beats Tank. And I will say this about Tank Davis. Tank Davis knows how to fight short. He's always the shorter guy. Now, here's the issue. And I give you a prime example of what I mean. He's always the shorter guy. Now he's fighting for the first time a guy shorter than him in Isan Cruz. So that is a dynamic that a lot of people don't even think about. Because when you're used to fighting tall people, you fight differently than you do short people. You want to get underneath. You want to close the gap. You want to fight from mid to close range. You want to be inside of their punches. Whereas Isan Cruz now wants to do that to Tank. Tank needs to be at mid to long range to truly get off his power. If he's got Isan Cruz underneath him, will he be able to generate the same type of knockout power punching down at a shorter guy? We don't know. Here's my case in point. Vladimir Klitschko, one of the most dominant heavyweights to ever box, okay? When he got in there with Tyson Fury, he was confused. He didn't know what to do. He got outclassed. Why? Because he didn't know how to fight taller fighters. He was always used to being the taller guy. Everybody he fought was shorter than him, smaller than him. So when he fought Tyson Fury, it was the first time he was looking up, and he didn't know what to do, because he's not used to fighting short. He's used to fighting tall. He's used to hiding behind the jab, and when the short man gets close, clinching him. He's not used to having to work his way in. So it was shown. He got beat because he was now fighting in a type of style that he's not used to doing. On the flip side, like I said, Tank is now in a style that he's not used to doing, fighting tall. So that could be a factor. But again, I've never seen Isan Cruz fight, so I don't know what he brings to the table. I don't know how good or how bad he is. I heard a lot of his fights were in Mexico, so, and he lost in Mexico too early in his career. So again, I think this is just another matchmaker's dream. I think Tank should win by knockout, but I don't know, because I've never seen Cruz fight. You see, JD said, Tank is an upset away. Don't be surprised if Tank gets dropped. I mean, again, that's going to be something. And what I do not like about this situation between Kambosos and Haney is two things. One, it sounds like Lou DiBella does not want the Haney fight. It sounds like he wants to fight Tank. From everything I've heard Lou DiBella say, who's Kambosos' promoter, to me, it sounds like that's who he's pushing for. He really wants the Tank Davis fight. Now, let's push that to the side. The other thing I don't like, Kambosos, he was given an interview about who he would fight up next, and they were asking him names. Now, he's the only one that brought up the name Ryan Garcia. I don't like that. First off, Ryan Garcia at this point, even though I was on record and still on record, if you go back to my history, saying that I believe Ryan Garcia beats all of them. Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, and Devin Haney. And this was before Kambosos was in the scene and Lomachenko. I was on record saying that I thought Ryan Garcia could beat them all. However, Ryan Garcia, he caps for fights. He talks shit about how fighters have their performance, but yet when it's time for him to fight, since the Luke Campbell fight, he doesn't show up. Whether it be mental illness or a supposed broken hand, he doesn't show up. So why Kambosos would be mentioning his name is beyond me, because at the end of the day, you don't even know if Ryan Garcia is going to show up to the match. And after all the delays that he had for Teofimo Lopez and him to fight, you would think that that would be the last guy he would try to make a fight with, because that can make him go into another year of delay. So now within the last 2 years, you've only got 2 fights? Nah, Ryan is not the fight that you should be trying to make. Ryan Garcia definitely is not the fight that anybody should be trying to make. Let me see. Tank made weight, but Tank is always bloating between fights. And on the yo-yo diet, that stuff always catches up to you when you least expect it. So here's the thing about that, JD. It's like I kind of mentioned about Devin Haney. When you're young, because Tank Davis is what, 26? Has he turned? Let me see. Yeah, Mello, that's what I've said from the jump. But when you're young, your body can fluctuate easily. And it doesn't have the same effect as it does as you get older, say into your 30s, mid-30s. It just, you can recover. You can be bloated, lose the weight, and be fine. You could be cutting down too much weight and feel like crap that day, but then be fully recovered by the next day. So it's much easier to 27 now. Okay, I knew he was around 26. So 27. He's 27 now. Still, he's still young. Now, when he starts getting to his 32, 33, then it'll become an issue. But I don't think at 27 years old, his fluctuation in weight is going to really mess with him at that age. I don't. Because your metabolism is going to be the highest whenever you're sub 30. So I think he's fine. But yeah, Mello, that's what I said from the jump. When I've seen Ryan Garcia fight, I said it a long time ago before he went on his cap spree, called everybody out that he could, and then never fought nobody. But again, I don't know what's up with Ryan Garcia, but I wouldn't trust him to show up to a fight. That's too much money. That's a training camp that you got to go through. And this dude's just going to flake out and make an Instagram post? No. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why Kambosos would bring up the name Ryan Garcia. Then on top of that, you have nothing to gain. Yes, Ryan Garcia has a Twitter following. He has a YouTube following. Social media, he's got a big following. However, he hasn't been in the ring. He was supposed to fight Fortuna, dropped out of that. He was supposed to fight. Who was he supposed to fight after Fortuna? He pulled out of 2 fights. It was Fortuna. Who was the other fight? I don't remember. I don't remember who he was supposed to fight. He had the mental illness and the alleged broken hand. But then you have Canelo saying that Ryan Garcia doesn't even train. So there's that aspect of it too. So I don't know why they called out his name. Oh yeah, Jojo Diaz. That's right, because it was initially supposed to be between Ryan Garcia and Jojo for mandatory again. That's right. You're right. So again, 2 fights in a row he's pulled out of, and then yet we're going to believe that he's going to show up to a championship fight? Nah, my opinion is this. Regardless of what I've said about Ryan Garcia, his natural attributes, how good I think he is, and I think Kambosos showed that Ryan Garcia would have beat Teofimo Lopez had they fought, because Ryan Garcia's best punch, his knockout shot, his I'll put you to sleep with 1 hit punch, is the left hook. And Kambosos was eating Teo alive with left hooks. So that already tells me everything I need to know about if Ryan would have got in there with Teo. Teo would have been knocked out within the first 6 rounds, because he could not. There's no way Teo would have been able to keep running into Ryan Garcia's left hook and stay on his feet. He just wouldn't have. So again, Linares, Fortuna, and JoJo. And he said he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao, but then Manny Pacquiao said, I don't even know what you're talking about. So there's that as well. So again, it doesn't make sense to me why George Kambosos would randomly say Ryan Garcia's name unless that's the fight that he's truly trying to make. And again, I don't see how Ryan deserves to go into that fight. I don't see how Ryan is even going to show up for that fight. And truth be told, it's a fight that if Ryan shows up, Kambosos could lose and he has nothing to gain. Nothing to gain. You lose to Ryan Garcia, you're done. You're going to be put on the back burner because you're losing to a guy who doesn't even have the interim title anymore. That got stripped and given to JoJo. So he doesn't have any type of medal around his waist. There's no belts. There's no nothing with him. All there is a name and his social media following. That's all Ryan has. So if you lose to him, all you gain is the monetary, right? But I guarantee you the monetary from fighting Ryan Garcia is going to be less than a Tank Davis. And I'm almost sure it's going to be less than fighting Devin Haney because Eddie Hearn feels like Devin Haney's the best fighter and he'll back him with money. So again, you got to look at that. You got to look at how Eddie is investing. What's going on, Trap Media? You can jump on the panel. You got to look at the type of money that Eddie Hearn is investing into Devin Haney. So financially, I guarantee you that Kambosos will make just as much with Devin Haney, if not a little more. And then we know if he fights Tank Davis, he'll make a career high payday. There's nobody Kambosos could fight and make more money than Tank Davis. So again, when I look at all the avenues, all the aspects, all the facets, fighting Ryan Garcia makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense unless they think he's just a tomato can that he could just knock over very easily. And I would say as much as Ryan caps, as much as he evades actually getting in the ring, if he gets in that ring, he's dangerous. He's a very dangerous fighter. Whether people want to make fun of him or not, that's irrelevant. I don't agree with his movements, but the way that he moves does not change his natural attributes or his abilities. It doesn't take away his knockout power. It doesn't take away the fact that he's the only person to stop Luke Campbell. It doesn't take away the fact that he knocked Fonseca out with the first clean left hook he landed, who was an ex-world well, I think he only lost to world champions, and Ryan defeated him quicker than Tank did. So even though people like to make fun of Ryan Garcia for everything he's done, he's still what he is. And that's a dangerous fight with very little to gain. So I don't understand it. Strategically, it makes no sense. Financially, in my opinion, it makes no sense. Because if you lose to Tank or Devin, you still have a name. Those two are already considered as the top two lightweights there are. So they make sense. If you lose to Tank, nobody holds that against you. If you lose to Devin Haney, nobody holds that against you. If you get knocked out by Ryan Garcia, everybody's going to be making fun of you, and they're going to say you're a one-hit wonder. You caught Tio on a bad night, and all the people who are going towards Lomachenko really having a hurt shoulder, they're all going to say the only reason why Tio lost is because of whatever was going on with his lungs. I guarantee you. So again, it is a very stupid fight for him to be saying, oh, I could fight Ryan Garcia. But I'm telling you, JD, what's going on, Trap? How you doing? I'm telling you, JD.
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm telling you, I think Ryan Garcia could beat George Kambosos and might knock his ass out. He may knock him out. So what's that?
Who you want him to fight next out of all the? If you Kambosos and you advising him, who you picking next for him? And if you Devin team, which direction do you go if he can't get the Kambosos fight?
So if I'm Devin Haney, I can't get the fight, I would try to get Lomachenko. That's who I would go for if he can beat Comey. If he beats Comey, I would go straight for Lomachenko because here's the deal. People are still saying Devin Haney's an email champion, which I don't agree with at all. I do not agree. That's the real belt. What Kambosos has is a fake, imaginary, creative belt. But here's the deal. If Devin Haney goes and beats Lomachenko, he is now certified as a real champion because it was Loma's belt before he vacated it. So if he beats the guy, then it just proves that, in my opinion, Loma didn't want that fight. And Devin Haney should have been the WBC champion had that fight happened before Loma went into Tio's fight. So
what if Devin tell you, Tony Reviews, man, I can't make 35 no more. I think going to 40 is the best. I'm draining myself too much. What direction would you put him to at 40?
I would put him in there with like a post style.
You don't think that's too dangerous just jumping up?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Devin Haney's name is too big not to fight a top 10 fighter. And you take a big risk if you put him in there with a Ramirez or a Regis. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big risk that he could get knocked out. Post style will not knock you out. There's a possibility he could outbox you, but you don't have to worry about the knockout if you're Devin Haney. So I think, and it's a big name. It's a big name. It's a guy that Terrence struggled with. It's a guy that Ramirez should have lost to, in my opinion. And it's a guy that Josh Taylor struggled with as well. So it could really put Devin Haney's name big at that division if he moved up. I think that's the best fight.
But you don't think Devin is getting moved too fast? Like comparatively, you got Shakur gets a lot of hype, but he really ain't fought nobody. Like compared to Devin done fought Linares, Jojo Diaz is a good win, and now you try even Gamboa who pushed Tank with a broken Achilles. Devin made it easy work. So you don't think comparatively to his class, he's getting pushed a little too fast? Because I think Devin is getting extra criticism, but the criticism is because he's fighting a different level of competition than Shakur, a different level of competition than Ryan. Like, you don't think that's playing a factor into some of this Devin Haney hate because these guys are shining, but they're shining against lesser competition?
Well, here's the thing. I think Luke Campbell and Linares are pretty much an equivalent win. I don't think there's any real separation.
Yeah, I like Campbell, but I like Linares a little bit more.
It, again, I think they're pretty equivalent on the resume. I don't think one trumps the other. I mean, you could like Linares better, but if you beat Linares or you beat Luke Campbell, I don't think there's that much disparity where people can say, oh, this was a much better win than the other one. That's all I'm saying.
But you definitely agree that his resume is better than Shakur's, right?
Well, Shakur just fought
Because
Herring,
yeah, but Heron ain't. Come on, bro.
world champion.
But he ain't that. You know,
But
he
but just hear me out real fast. Shakur got his title, right? He was chasing Valdez. Valdez went up in weight. So Shakur came up in weight to follow him, and he just beat Herring to get a title to try to get his, get into the Valdez fight. So I hear what you're saying, but you've got a one division champion and you're comparing him to a two-weight.
Yeah, we can't do that though, because if you're not fighting nobody in these divisions, that shit don't mean nothing to me at all. Like it's it don't like because if I'm fighting better guys in one division and you fighting C-level guys moving up in two divisions, like I'm fighting B-level guys, you fighting C-level guys, whether it's at up or down, I'm fighting better competition.
But look here, let me give you an example of what you're saying. That's the same thing people were saying about Kambosos before he went into the Tio fight. Tio had way better competition, beat way better names.
No,
But
I'm not saying that Shakur would beat him. I mean that Shakur wouldn't beat him. I'm just saying I think it's unfair to be putting Shakur so far ahead of Devin when Devin has fought the better competition. If we just comparing resumes or we talking pound for pound talk, I think at
right,
this point it's
right,
unfair for everybody just to be putting Shakur definitively above Devin when Devin done fought Gamboa, the Tank had some issues with a busted Achilles. He fought Linares, did his thing, and he just fought Jojo Diaz. So I'm just saying whether you put them even, all right, but just how people just writing Devin off as compared to Shakur, I think that's unfair.
but the point that I was trying to get to is this. Going back to the George Kambosos Teofimo Lopez fight. The thing about it is, yes, resumes matter. However, when you look at the guys that they're fighting on their resume, you got to look at how they're winning and how, when they look bad in the fights they win, why are they looking bad? How they look bad? What do they bring to the table? When I look at Shakur Stevenson, my eyes are telling me, regardless of the competition level, because nobody's competitive with him as of yet. And I understand that, You could say, well, the quality of opposition was lower, but even though it was lower, he was so much higher than his competition that you could see it. It's night and day with Shakur. So with Shakur comes the highest accuracy in all of boxing. Also, the best defense in all of boxing. So he's got the two stats that matter the most, and he's the best in both. He's got defense and offense. Highest land ratio, lowest hit ratio. So again, while it may not be the best competition, you're looking at one-sided fights with Shakur. Now, if you look at Devin, with a guy like Jojo Diaz, who's now moved up 3 classes, you saw him get hurt in this fight that Jojo really wasn't letting his hands go that much. And I'm not taking anything away from Devin Haney because he clearly won the fight, but I'm just saying that, to me, visually looking at them, there's a huge skill gap in between what Shakur does and what Devin does. I think Shakur is night and day better. I think Shakur is going to be the next star.
Let me ask you this: what you think about? Because to me, last night, Devin's starting to look like he is falling out of love with boxing a little bit, and I think that's because he's having to stick to this. Keep the stick out there. I think he plays into the fans booing. I don't think he likes that. I think he wants to mix it up, kind of like a Robert Easter. But his dad keep keeping him in one pocket. Would you like to see him maybe go for that Maxie Hughes fight, get that IBO belt? You set your own legacy. That's an American title that a lot of the greats had, and maybe work on fighting inside like how Robert Easter does at sometimes, not against the top punchers, but when you fighting lower level fighters, maybe that's something that it looks like that he wants to do, but he keeps getting pulled back. Did you see that last night, and what you think about that path?
My problem is this. You got to know what you are and who you are. Devin Haney, currently, I don't know what'll happen if he goes up to 140. I don't know what will happen if he goes to 147, like he said he can make weight for. Currently, what I'm looking at is the pocket is where he does not need to be because he doesn't have enough pop. He doesn't have enough power to survive in there. And the thing about this is, it's all muscle memory. Everything you do is muscle memory when you're this consistent that these guys are on this level. He needs to hone in on what makes him great, being an outside, back-footed fighter. These fights where he keeps coming in, yes, he may get better at the inside game, but what's happening to his outside game as he's no longer perfecting it? It's digressing. So he needs to work on more sharp shooting from range, in my opinion, than trying to get in the pocket because he just doesn't have the power for it.
Now, what would you be interested in him in that Maxie Hughes fight, or if he moved to 40? Him and Robert Easter had the back and forth early on. Easter said he wasn't ready. He was still like a kid, little brother to him. Would you be interested in that type of fight? And how you feel about Easter when he shrinks his size down and go on the inside? And I'm saying that because they got similar dimensions.
I mean, I don't know about that fight with Maxie Hughes. I think for Devin Haney, the only fights, if he's going to stay where he's at, I think the only fights that he should be trying to get is Lomachenko, George Kambosos, or Tank Davis. I don't think, unless he has a mandatory that he can't get out of, I don't think he should fight any lesser names. I think that's what he needs to do. As far as the other guys go, I don't even think he should bother with them. I don't. The thing about Robert Easter is he's got more pop to me than Devin Haney does. It's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, my biggest thing when it comes to Devin Haney is he's missing something. There is something missing. On paper, he's extremely skilled. In the ring, he's extremely skilled. He's got super fast hands. His movement is great. But the performances have been coming up lackluster lately. There is something missing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because he's void of power. I don't know if it's that he doesn't know how to properly set his punches and rotate his hips. I don't know what his, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
What I seen last night, he's not really punching all the way through, and he's predictable. After a while, it's like, okay, just from a fan entertainment perspective, it's like he does good. He outskills his opponent, but it's just very predictable. And after a while, that kind of you can walk away from the TV. Whereas like if you see a Montana Love, he's a like Devin is a boxer. Montana Love is a fighter. He like Bud. They can create on the fly. He's taking what his opponent gives them and creating off of that. And that's something if you walk by the TV, you're gonna be like, damn, who that? But Devin, you can kind of okay, that guy's skilled, but you might get up and go have something to eat in the middle of the fight. Where Montana gonna keep you glued to the TV.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like, I never even knew who Montana Love was until he fought Baranchek. And like, I thought maybe it was just that Baranchek was like done. You know what I mean? Like his from that Zapata fight, chin not there, but seeing him last night against Carlos Diaz, that dude looks super impressive. And you're right. You're right about the dynamics of it. Like when he fights, you're glued to the TV. You know what I mean? When Devin fights, you can go get up and get popcorn. And that's what I mean. Like there's something missing because at the same time, Floyd Mayweather fought from range, but I never felt like I wanted to walk away from the screen whenever Mayweather was fighting.
Yeah. And I think that's because Floyd create and he gave you so much different looks. He'll lean on the ropes, fight off the bat. Like it just wasn't the same thing. The whole like he was boxing, fighting from range, but he would switch it up, and he was kind of just creating on the fly too. Like Floyd knew how to dictate the pace, but dictate the pace in a way that it was interesting. Like it was like you was watching art when you was watching Floyd, and it wasn't like the big. I'm talking about Floyd later on, like that Canelo fight. It wasn't like big power, but it was just like, damn, this is something spectacular to watch. I don't know what the chat talking about. Floyd had better defense and
Oh,
counters.
Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying, but I was typing at the same
so,
time. That's why I was
Yeah,
quiet. I couldn't unmute my mic.
it's too soon to say that. No, Montana real
you
big
guys ready?
in Cleveland. Like he always throw events all that. Like everybody that know Montana and hear about him in the gym. This is what Montana do. Y'all can go back and look at the sparring with Tank. He just he just
Yeah.
needed the right support behind him, and now everybody gonna see. But if you from the area, you really already know about how Montana giving it up, and now he had a weight class where he comfortable at. So with Eddie
Yeah.
Hearn behind him, he just gonna shine more.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. What's going on, Leonard?
what's up, man?
What's
How you
What's
going
up?
doing?
on? What's going on?
What's going on, man? Yeah, man. Well, the thing, before I give my thoughts on the fight, the thing about Floyd, even though people say he's boring, he's still exciting to watch because his ability to fight in the pocket and dodge and counter. So that's gonna be like it keeps somebody on the edge of their seat. That's what it really is. So like if you're fighting somebody who's dodging all the punches, barely dodging it, right, in the pocket, and you're throwing everything you got, it keeps you on the edge of the seat because you're like, okay, he's gonna get caught one of them. Oh, did he get caught? Did he get caught? So that's the reason why that people are glued to Floyd and his style too. But the thing with Devin, what he's missing is so it's two things: the power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the boy hits like a 5-year-old. No disrespect, but he doesn't have the power. And I said this why I said it's going to be a UD for this fight. And number two, he becomes very predictable. So it'll be one upstairs, two downstairs. Then he'll do it again. One upstairs, two downstairs. Again, one upstairs, two downstairs. Then he might do something different. He'll do a hook. Then he'll do a downstairs. Then he might throw an uppercut. Right? You know what I'm saying? But then it becomes predictable. And when it becomes predictable, it's like okay, whatever. Even though it's a high skill level, he doesn't like create as much as somebody like a Floyd or somebody like that. So that's the reason why those are the two reasons why it's kind of boring. And somebody made a comment. I was on a panel last night, and somebody made a comment and said, "Oh, I believe that his Devin's become predictable. He should throw 5, 6, 7 punch combinations on the inside." I said he doesn't have the power to do that. He can't risk staying in there throwing that many shots, and he's not buzzing his guy enough, and then he could get caught. Because he doesn't have the power to do that, so it's going to be hard. But I was impressed with the performance just because again, this is a true step up for the. I mean, what I'm saying because again, Jojo Diaz is at a decent point of his career. So again, I like I said, the prediction king strikes again. I expect it to be a tough fight. Jojo Diaz was game. Like I said, and I expect Haney to win as he did, and he lopsidedly won. Although he did have his moments of terror in there, right? You at some points you're like, oh shit, he's catching him, he's gonna get dropped. So, but then the one thing about Haney that he has is a chin. So that he seemed to have a pretty good chin on him. So that's good. It'd be one thing if he didn't have power, and no chin, no power, no chin. That would really be bad. You'd be like a Paulie Malignaggi and just get ran over. But yeah.
Look,
The thing about the power though,
what
there's things don't you can't really. So with power, you can do certain weight exercises that will give you a little power, but it's very minimal at best. What you can do is you can train to get the maximum power outside your punch. So getting with full leverage, sitting down on shots, having a strength and conditioning coach that can keep her power from round 1 to round 12 very consistent. That's what you can do to get your power to have more. Excuse me, your punches to have more power in them for the most part. And that's what he's going to need to do, unless they say he's going to grow into his man strength, which I'm not sure. I mean, he's 23. I'll probably give him another year or two to see. But I mean, he's definitely going to need to grow into the man strength if he has any left, growing into, because again, he's talking about moving up to 140. He's having a tough time keeping guys off of him at 135. He's having wars basically in the pocket. Even being the most skilled fighter in the pocket, he's having wars because he doesn't have the power there. So if he goes up to 140, let alone 147, he is definitely going to need to do something. I don't know, maybe steroids. Something needs to get that power up.
how did
Go
you
ahead.
feel about the interaction with his dad last night in the corner? Because it was a point. I don't know if y'all seen it.
Mhm.
His dad was telling him something, and he was like, "When I move that way, I keep getting hit with the left." He was kind of trying to block him out and listen to Ben Davison, but the dad kept shushing Ben Davison. Do you think?
That's the thing, and that's the thing. I see this fight wasn't as bad as I see Bill Haney be. His commentary in other fights has been absolutely horrendous. Like one time there was a fight where I forget which fight this was, and you had Floyd Mayweather Sr. in the corner, and he was over talking Floyd Mayweather Sr. I think Bill wants to be that dad that was, if Haney becomes a great, like Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather, Kobe Bryant, all these are big superstars, Messi, Ronaldo. If he becomes a great in the sport, he wants to be that dad that was along with him, right? Be that super coach, that super thing. But it's not the best for his career, because I mean that this fight was okay. He gave okay advice, but I didn't see that point where you say he was searching Ben Davison. If he was doing that, then shame on him, because at the end of the day, Bill Haney is I don't think he's a world class trainer, and I just think that he's gonna hurt Haney's career if he's always going to be trying to be in a spotlight, giving cornering, structured advice, and he's going to keep doing this. I think he needs to kind of chill back and just kind of be assistant trainer. Nobody's going to take away your credit. You know what I'm saying? You put your son in the gym. It's not like you've coached him in certain fights. Sure, sure, sure. But at this level, you need somebody who's a world class trainer, because that's going to give him sound advice and instruction on what to do when he's in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bill Haney need to. He does a great job with promotion, but I think he should fall back a little bit
A
and
little
let
bit.
somebody else step up as far as the head trainer. But his promotion is spectacular.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I'm not gonna get on Bill for what he's doing outside the ring. He loves his son. He's, what I'm saying. He doesn't take up too much of the camera like a Teal's dad or Angel Garcia or whatever. So it's not. I'm not mad. I'm just saying when it comes to his training and inside the ring, he needs to leave a world class trainer, because again, like we said, even though to me the performance was a good performance against a hard vet like JoJo. I mean, you can see, there was some holes in his performance, right? There was some, regression a little bit. You can argue saying, okay, well, listen, in the beginning of his career, it's like he was really, you could really see it, but you kind of see him now standing more in the pocket and getting hit a little bit more defensively.
See, I seen him getting hit more at mid range. Like the pocket, I really want to see from him is that chest to chest when Easter get chest to chest because I don't think you're gonna get hit with nothing too crazy that close. You need a little bit of space to get that full power. I think if he can
Yeah,
mix it
exactly.
up against the right opponent like a Maxi Hughes, I would like to see him take that fight, get that IBO belt, but work on that inside pocket game because it seems like he wants to do it. It's no point in going in this sport and falling out of love with it. I mean, you can get all the accolades in the world, but what do it mean if you're not happy? I see it in Devin Haney that he wants to bang, but he's
He
trying to be
wants
a
to be.
good son and listen to the strategy and all that. I think against a lesser opponent that's not too dangerous, I would like to see Devin at least go out and satisfy himself and see where he at with that. Because what do it
Exactly.
mean if you're not happy?
Exactly. But it's the thing about it is this: he wants to be a banger, but he just. I mean, he has a banger's chin. I give him that, but he doesn't have the banger power. Even
I,
if he does
I
find a way to get more, get like I said, get more power to his punch, he'll never be a knockout artist, right? You natural power is something you're born with.
Yeah, but I
You know what
mean
I'm saying?
Porter wasn't the biggest puncher, but inside we got exciting, nice enough, enough work rate. Just
Yeah.
it
But the
didn't have
thing,
to be super explosive to where Porter was putting people down, but it was just good work inside.
I
Like
know
that's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
good
That chest
work,
to
but
chest.
even I think even Porter hits like a little harder than even Haney does at 135. I mean, you have JoJo Diaz. I think was he like a featherweight coming up to 135, saying that he needs more power. The boy really need. I mean, because like we can some of the shots. I mean, because his Haney's punch placement was beautiful, right? The body. I mean, he was at one point. He was like throwing looping overhands, like Superman punches, damn
Yeah, the
near.
triple G,
Just
the triple G hook.
you said yeah exactly
Yeah,
over the top of the cranium, and still couldn't really buzz. It was what it reminded me of. If you guys seen the movie, you guys seen Rocky 3, where Rocky was throwing everything he had at Clubber Lang. I mean, he was throwing everything at Jesus. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to beat this guy going blow for blow. When in the second fight, what he did is just I'm just gonna outbox this guy, get him tired, and take him out like that. But it was like it reminded me of that scene where it was like he was throwing all the mustard he had and he still couldn't like buzz him. So it was like, wow.
I,
At
I mean,
least,
I don't take a
yeah.
knock at that because that's not like a great put down point. I mean, that's a hard point of the head. Now, if he was just catching them on that side where Fury put Wilder down, or catching them right on the button, on the chin, or the note, something like that, then I'll be like, all right. But you catching them up there, JoJo's a tough guy. That's a hard spot on the head. I'm not really
And
saying I don't think he has great
at least
power, but I don't think he's pushing
at
all the
least
way
with
through his punches either.
at least with Porter, when he stands flat footed, he's able to buzz his opponent. Right? He was able to buzz Spence, buzz Crawford a lot. He was, you know what I'm saying? He's able to at least when he stands flat, when he gives it all he has, he stands flat footed. He is able to buzz his opponent. But Haney is like I don't even think he's able really even to buzz his opponent when he even stands flat footed.
Who
Well,
you
the
like?
thing,
Who you like more, him or Robert Easter?
Who Haney or Robert Easter?
Who will win that fight, Haney or Robert Easter?
If Haney just goes straight to 140.
Yeah, right
I mean,
now.
I'm assuming that his body, because again, he's having a trouble time making his weight, so it's unfortunate he has to move up with this type of power. But if he moves up to 140, and it's just assume that his body's okay because he's his body has that 140 frame, then man, I think Haney, because I think his discipline will be because Robert Eason he lose a lot of discipline. Like he'll go for broke. He'll start boxing from the outside. Then when he feels the pressure, he'll still start going for broke and just keep giving all his reach. So I think Haney, but I think it'll be competitive.
what I was gonna say real fast,
Go ahead.
another issue with Haney generating power could be Ben Davidson himself, because Ben, he doesn't really specialize in offense. He specializes in defense and movement. That's why Tyson Fury ended up leaving him. You saw with Billy Joe Saunders, a back-footed fighter. I believe he does have Josh Taylor, but that's even whenever Taylor got with Ben Davison, his style has been more backing away versus getting into the phone booth like he used to. So I it, I don't. The thing is, I know I have been around boxing gyms for so long, so many years of my life, that I know you can't teach power. Like, was it you, Trap, was saying that you can improve it? I don't remember which one of y'all said it. You can improve it, but you can never teach it. So if you can't
I
hit
think
hard,
I said that.
okay, it was you then, Leonard. But yeah, you can't turn pillows into rocks. It's just
No, absolutely not. No,
it's not physics
Yeah, the
doesn't.
you
guys with
can't.
power, you,
But
you
you,
see them punching his kids. Like, well, they
yeah,
they dropping
definitely.
kids when they 5, 6 years old, and they keep doing it their whole life. You either got it or you don't. You either
Right,
tough or you
right.
not.
Yep.
Oh no, definitely. I was just saying that
By the way, what's up, gents? How
you
y'all doing?
can train to get the maximum efficiency out your punch. That's what I'm saying. To get the maximum pop you can get out the punch.
You
Go ahead.
saying like how Derek James preached with Spence and them.
Yes, that's a perfect. Somewhere like all our Spence. He had a strength and conditioning coach as well. He dropped that, so I think his next fight will have him back. But that's the reason why Spence was getting able to get knockouts, because Spence doesn't have like this guard. I mean, he has okay, solid punch. You know, he definitely not fair. He has okay punch, but he got more out of his punches. One, because he had a strength and conditioning coach, and number two, Derek James teaches how to get full leverage out of your punches. Right. So when you get full leverage, you get the maximum output you can. You know, maximum punch devastation you can from learning how to punch and get leverage and et cetera, you know, sitting down in shots and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to the chat real fast because we've got some stuff like build up. But JD Boxing said Bill Haney was brought back into his corner by Devin Haney. Whenever you were talking about Bill yelling over Ben, so according to JD Boxing, the reason why that happens because Haney called for his father to come over there. Another comment: Haney is never going to be undisputed in any division. Kambosos knocks him and Diaz out in the same night. Haney hyped up by Yes Man. I don't think he's hyped up. I think Devin Haney is extremely skilled. It's just like I said earlier in this, he's missing something. There is something in the toolbox that is vital that's not there. I don't know 100% what it is that he's missing, but he's definitely missing something. Haney will lose in Australia. It's a possibility on the scorecards. Easter is trash. Easter hasn't even fought this year at all. He's only had one fight since he left for 140.
No, he had a lot of legal issues. He just beat that domestic case.
I didn't even know he had a domestic case.
Yeah. So he was going through something. That's why he was out, JD. It wasn't that he wasn't trying to fight. He had something going on outside the ring.
He still got 2 years probation. But hey, how y'all doing, gents? What's good with y'all?
Good, you?
What's going on? What's going on?
All right.
So, AJ, being that you just got here, what do you think happens if Kambosos fights Devin Haney? Who do you have winning?
I'm slightly edge of George based on what I saw last night. It's a slight edge to George. You know, I mean, I agree with all you guys' points about Devin. He's a good boxer, good defense, movement, everything like that, but he just doesn't have pop on the shots, man. You know, because he controlled the first 3 rounds of will. I mean, he was pretty much an autopilot. You know, jabbing JoJo to the body, keeping him at range. You know, boxing him pretty good, but JoJo just kept coming forward no matter what Devin hit him with. You know, and whatever JoJo picked it up in the mid rounds, came back, let off combinations. Because Tony, you're right, man. It's like I don't like Devin's response when he gets hit. You know, he has a very, very bad poker face, and if like he faces a big puncher or somebody who he really can't hurt, they're gonna capitalize on him and really hurt him and take it to him.
I don't think that he has a bad. I mean, he has the same thing that Crawford has, in my opinion. I think that he just has that dog in him, and when he gets in a pocket fight, you know, he'll start to drop. His defense will start to drop, and somebody will start to get the best of him. I don't necessarily think his poker face was wrong. I think that he has like Crawford, you know, in the pocket. He's he's not the best in the pocket, and I think
no. I agree. He's not really he can't really trade as good. He's best at range. So
yeah,
you know.
Well, I kind of agree with AJ on this one because, like I said, I saw several different occasions that Haney was hurt by JoJo. Not hurt in the sense of he was staggered or falling or on spaghetti noodle legs, but
he was buzzed. He was definitely like.
I mean, it's just the fact that like he didn't like when Diaz hit him.
Yeah,
more or less. Not that he was physically hurt, but it's like, oh my God, you hit me. That bothers me. No, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Let me move.
But after last night, if you Kambosos, if I'm on his team, personally, I want Devin to get that fight. But if I'm advising Kambosos, I just don't think you get nothing out of a Devin Haney fight right now. I think you get more out of beating Shakur, who's regarded higher.
I mean, we'll try.
Let me say this real quick, and I didn't get my prediction. I think Haney beats Kambosos, but again, it's close to a 50-50. And the reason why is because it's in Australia. So I think that David Haney's slightly better boxer, and I think that he's a little faster, slightly faster with the speeds. So I think he beats Kambosos. But what makes it going to be hard is because you're going to fight the boy in Australia. So you're not going to, because this is a close fight to begin with. So if you're going to fight him in Australia, with that push, Kambosos over the edge to get the win? I'm not sure, but no, I do favor Haney to beat Kambosos.
Yeah, but you would advise him to definitely fight Tank first. You would get more people respect Shakur, so you would push for that fight before Haney. Uh,
Shakur
the,
would have to move up in weight though.
yeah,
Shakur
but
is
he
not 35.
no, but he called him out right after he beat Tio. He said he'd
Yeah,
come
but
to Australia.
he also. Oh, you talking about Shakur calling out Kambosos?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it makes more sense for Kambosos to either fight a Shakur or a Tank because Shakur has the respect for most of the people, black, white, mainstream, and YouTube, and Tank is the money fight. So if I'm Kambosos' team, a lot of people don't. They was underwhelmed with this fight with Devin. Devin is just like he cool for in most people's eyes, but I don't think he would get maximum respect with the Haney fight like he would if he could beat a Shakur or just go get that bag against Tank. You might lose and get knocked out against Tank, but you're gonna get big money. So I would take Shakur or Tank if I'm Kambosos. If I'm on his team, that's where I'm pushing him.
I
See, and
wouldn't go. I don't
I
think
feel like if
Shakur.
I was on the team,
I
I
don't.
would
I mean,
I
go.
don't.
honestly, I think that I mean, like it's just that like I don't see him fighting Tank at all if I'm being honest. Because Floyd said they're keeping everything in house, and that just sticks out in my mind to like
What do you?
how to just like it's like I don't see any a problem with that option. I mean, he can fight Tank if he wants because he's a big name and he's more well known than Devin and all that stuff. But it's just that like Floyd said they're keeping everything in house, so like and I'm sure they're going to try to play A side politics in the whole thing. So I just see the smarter option. I just see just him dealing with Devin next. I mean, that should be an easier fight to make. They can do it in Australia. It's a bigger fight out
What
there.
about what about Shakur though?
I don't.
Well, here's what I'm gonna
Shakur. I
say.
mean, sorry.
Shakur. Where's
Shakur is not really um in lightweight division yet. It's not a bad option. I'm not saying no to the fight. I'd like to see it, but it's like
He
why
there
why
because he there
why
because he called him
that
out.
isn't why
No,
would
he
he
no
why
no
would he
he
fight
called him out.
Shakur?
I'm not
no,
saying
no,
this.
no,
Why
no,
would he?
no, he did. I think Shakur is honestly trying to ride George's wave. If I'm being honest, I
Wait a
mean,
minute.
not saying he doesn't want the fight.
What does he get out of fighting Shakur? Shakur's not a bigger star than Haney is.
Absolutely, he is. More
No,
people
he
in
is not.
more people,
No, he is not.
No,
He
look,
is
no, no,
not.
no, no, no. But I'm saying in boxing, more people in boxing respect Shakur than they respect Haney.
Oh, okay. If you're talking
Oh, that's
about
what you
that,
mean.
yes,
Yeah,
because
Yeah, I'd say
neither of
so.
these guys, Haney or Shakur, are on
Yo, this
on the
working?
superstar. But I'm just saying that
Yeah.
Haney is a bigger draw than
Yeah, Tony, you good?
Shakur is. But if you're
Okay.
talking about for respect on the respect level, then fine. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I thought you think, man, but like, well, if I'm George, I think he gets a bigger purse fighting Haney than he does against Shakur.
Well, my
I mean,
thing is this is what I'm
sorry,
looking
sorry.
at. If I was Kambosos, like honestly, at this stage, he can make money with Devin, he can make money with Tank, and he can make money with Shakur. He can make money with all of them. But from what my eyes are showing me and what my mind is telling me, to me, the smartest fight, if he's going to maximize his paydays, what is going to give you a good payday with the lowest risk? And I think that's Devin Haney. And I disagree with you, Leonard. I'm finding it hard to see Haney making it to the 12th round against George Kambosos because you got to understand Diaz was getting
No, you're right because George is more durable, I believe,
he's
a lot more durable. And honestly, he's
That's
fast.
debatable.
He's fast. He's very fast.
And I don't think
He's
I
faster than
don't
people
when people
realize.
say I didn't see this flash that people are talking about when he fought Tio. Why are people saying he's
No,
that?
no.
I don't think he's that fast.
Have you seen him train? Have you seen him training? Have you seen him hitting the heavy
It
bags?
doesn't
All
it
that kind
doesn't
of stuff.
matter. It doesn't matter what training we're talking about in a fight. And what I saw against Teofimo Lopez, a good boxer, somebody who's very cagey, who has good angles, but somebody who's a speedster like that, I didn't see that because again, Teo's is kind of slow himself. I did not
but
see
here's the
somebody who's
thing about it,
extremely
Leonard.
fast.
Here's the thing about it. You got to look at this though. This is what you're not coming into it. George Kambosos, Devin Haney fight very similarly. They're different though. But the difference here is I was just watching a 5'6", 5'5" Jojo Diaz get off shots on Devin Haney. And some of them shots look like they affected him. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at George Kambosos, you're not looking at a guy who's shorter. He's taller than Haney. You're looking at a guy who's got much longer arms than a Jojo Diaz, a guy who's also way faster than Jojo Diaz, and a guy who hits a hell of a lot harder, apparent by Tio's face, than Jojo Diaz does. So what I'm looking at is if little short Jojo got off on Devin at times like he did, Kambosos, if he is slower than Devin, it's minimal. So he's going to be able to stay pretty much toe-to-toe with Devin the entire fight, except the difference is you got one guy who's shooting pellets and one guy who's shooting magnum rounds. Normally, the guy shooting the magnum rounds is going to win when the firefight happens.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but this speedster that you guys are talking about, I just don't see. I see somebody who has good speed, but no great speed. I don't see that. I don't.
Bro,
Yeah,
he's
I
real
seen
fast.
good speed. I seen good speed from
That's what
Kambo.
I just said. I said good speed, but not great speed.
Yeah.
I'm not blazing like, whoo, that boy is fast.
It's not. It's
I didn't see that in
see
the
what y'all thought about the ring last night because that looked like a prospect ring.
and listen,
Usually a
and again,
boxer want a bigger ring.
I'm not trying to discredit Kambosos' win, but it was he. I mean, he had a war with Tio, and was he
A
was
war.
Tio at his
Was
best?
it a war?
Was
It
I ain't
was
seen no
an
war.
was Tio?
Like,
I'm
he
just saying,
beat his ass.
It was a tough fight. It was a taxing fight. You know, it was a good fight.
No.
You know,
I'm saying, but was Tio at his best? I mean,
Yes,
that's
yes, he
debatable.
was. He
That's
was at his
debate. I
best.
mean, I don't want to give Tio a scapegoat, but again, was he really at his best?
Yes, he was. He was definitely at his best. And if he wasn't at his best, if Tio wasn't at his best, neither was Kambosos, because Kambosos had been out of the ring longer than Tio was. So, and the thing I've said before is ring rust affects speed fighters way worse than it does power punchers, because you lose speed quicker and you don't really lose power. Like, your power that you lose is minimal. The speed that you lose is quick. Like, here's a case in point. Lennar, this is what I want you to do. Sprint for the next 2 weeks straight, and then time on the second week how fast you run. Take a week off after that second week without running at all, and then retime yourself sprinting, and I guarantee you're going to be night and day slower.
Facts.
So inactivity will affect speed way worse than it does power. So if anybody was suffering, it was Kambosos, not Tio, in my opinion.
Listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not trying. I don't know, guys. It's kind of like
stranger things have happened. We were literally, I'm sure we were all literally picking George to lose last week. Were we not?
I thought he was going to lose, but I mean,
were we not? And what happened?
He won, but was Tio at his best?
I think he was. I agree with you. I think he was. When I saw Tio, when I did see Tio in there, I saw a man who was like weight drained. I saw who got really tired. I said, okay, you can tell he's already outgrown 135. He needs to at least be at 140. And again, I'm not saying that George would have lost if Tio was at his best. Who knows? If Tio might have been. But all I'm saying is this. I'm saying that, I mean, we can make an argument, was Tio at his best? And if he's having a war against Tio, a man who's not at his best, that's why I say, it's a close fight between him and Haney. I think it's closer than that you're making it seem. Tony.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. What I saw last night, the Tio that fought Kambosos, all he has to do is clip Haney one time, bro, and it's gonna be a bad day for Haney. Still got clipped with the same fucking overhand left by a smaller fighter who people weren't really giving a shot to. JoJo's a really good. He's a skilled boxer, but he's not a power puncher like that. And he was clipping Haney, and Haney got rocked at least 3 times in that fight last night. And I'm getting kind of tired of people trying to compare this man to Floyd Mayweather. And he's saying, look, he has really good skills. He has a good jab. He can move, good footwork. He's able, he is willing to mix it up, on the inside when he needs to. But I think people are overrating this man's defense and overrating this man's overall capabilities.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford.
Keep on going.
Order.
BS stoppage.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of Vince, Leonard, hold on.
BS stoppage.
Nigga, what?
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
okay,
go ahead,
this dude trolling now.
No, I ain't trolling, but go ahead.
No. Speaking of Spence, I think Spence is in the chat
Spence,
right
Spence don't want no damn. He don't want no smoke.
Tony, I want to say this real quick. What I saw versus Porter is the same way when you made your post-fight reaction. What you saw with Haney versus JoJo. I saw food, man. I saw food. I saw food. I saw food.
Well,
And
go
it made
eat
me
then,
even
my
more.
nigga.
And it
'Cause
made
I
me.
know
And
you
it
ain't
made me
talking about
even.
bud.
It
Go
made me
eat.
even
Go eat
more
something.
confident. It made me even more confident that
And
Spence
what?
Beats that Spence
Right.
Beats
That's why
would
Spence
knock
walked
them out.
out, huh?
And
Walked
Man,
out.
Spence,
Wait,
bro, wait a
confident.
second.
Wait a minute.
Spence,
No, you
hey,
can't say
Spence
that.
Walked
couldn't
out from
fit.
a
Wait a
BS
second.
stoppage,
Wait,
right?
wait, 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 wait,
Walked
wait,
out
wait.
from a BS
Spence
stoppage,
could
right?
not.
Hold
No,
on.
Walked out from a BS
Spence,
stoppage.
Wait,
That's
wait,
what
Spence
wait,
was
walked
wait,
out.
Leonard,
unable to
Leonard,
finish Sean
wait, Leonard,
Porter, bro.
Leonard, Leonard,
This dude is crazy.
wait, Leonard,
This
Leonard.
nigga watch
You think,
boxing or?
Leonard, you think Spence beats Bud? Is that what you're saying?
No, I know Spence beats Bud. If he's 100%.
No, we don't. No, we
There's
don't.
no debate. There's
No,
no
we don't.
debate.
No, we don't.
There's
Lose
no
No, we
your
debate
don't.
there. I
promotions.
know Spence beats Bud.
No, we don't. Is that
How
why you
does he
left?
beat?
That's why you left.
Yes, you
Okay,
do.
okay,
Yes,
break
you
it
do.
down. How does he
Yes, you
beat
do.
Bud? He
Yes,
that
couldn't
you
fight not
stop.
do.
He
happening.
couldn't stop
That fight
Sean
not
Porter.
happening. The fight not
Just
He's
happening.
not.
wait. So you're saying that Crawford has a granite chin himself? This guy was getting rocked by Porter, who's feather fisted.
This nigga walked
Right.
out
So
of
let
Come
a
on,
me
bro.
bro. He was talking about no
hear.
prior to the fight. No, listen.
He
Prior
did.
to the fight, prior to the fight, he was talking about, oh yeah, I want the winner of Spence and Sean Porter. You go to the fights, according to Crawford, Spence never goes to his fights, right?
Body.
He does something that didn't nobody does, including Spence, and has stopped the dude. All right.
Stop the
I don't
dude
give a
with
damn
a
about I don't give a
BS
damn about the
stoppage.
towel being thrown in. It was a minute 20 seconds left, and he dropped Porter twice in that fucking round. It was about to be over with. So that's why Kenny Porter threw that goddamn talent. And then
What I'm
when Spence reacted to the decision of him getting stopped, this dude walks up, shakes his head, and walks straight out. Don't even come
so
up
let
and
me
congratulate
hold
the
on.
dude.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
come up here be
Okay.
like, hey,
Wait.
look, we can do this in the
No.
summertime.
Let me
No,
say
no, no,
this.
no, 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 no,
Let me say
no, no,
this.
no, no.
When
You
you're talking
listen. No,
about
you
this right
Hey,
listen.
now,
Let,
you're talking
Lenard, let
about
him finish,
a
bro.
guy who was.
Lenard, let
Let's
him
be
finish,
fair.
bro.
I'm not saying that Crawford would have not
bro,
stopped
listen.
him. But what I'm
Look, you don't
saying
want
is
to
Spence
let
Porter
Lenard.
walked the
deserved one
fuck
more
out,
chance to see
bro.
what was going to
He
happen.
didn't even
That's what
go.
he deserved. And when
He didn't
Spence was
even
in the
greet the
arena,
man
the reason
after the
why the
fight
guy
like
took the
he
padding is
was
because
claiming
everybody
to,
else in the
bro.
arena knew that this
No,
guy that was a BS stoppage. He's like, man, what the hell is this? And walked out. That's the
no, that's
exact
not why he
reason
No,
walked
no,
why.
out.
no,
Look,
no,
I'm gonna
no,
tell
I
y'all
no.
don't
real
Come
know
quick.
on,
what you're
man.
I'm gonna
talking
tell you.
about.
Hold
That
on, listen to me.
to
Listen to
This
me.
me, to
dude,
me, to
All
me,
he
this is
told him
to
real
buck.
me,
Tony,
quick.
champ this.
to me,
Champ,
Y'all,
to me,
Tony,
you gotta
champ
look like
this.
a guy who
Hey,
was
no, but here's the thing,
disappointed.
no, but no, watch
Hey,
this.
let
So
the man talk,
let
bro.
me say this
Lenard, we
real
heard
quick.
you, bro.
Stop.
Hey, Lenard, we heard you, man. Let the
Wait,
homie
hold on.
finish,
Listen.
man.
He
You
was
cut him off.
Wait,
Let
wait,
the
disappointed.
homie
wait.
finish right quick, bro. Let the
Go
homie
ahead.
finish right quick.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Now, real quick, just the last thing. Here's the thing, though, and then someone else can go. The coldest thing is if the roles were reversed, and it was Spence that did the shit he did what Crawford did to Sean Porter, and Terrence Crawford was in the crowd with his entourage, right? And he would have walked out. All these Spence fans would be all up in arms and be like, "Oh, see, Crawford, he don't want the fight. He don't want to listen." Crawford ain't that type of dude. Spence is that type of dude. Spence
Okay.
sat up there and walked right out.
Yes,
Didn't
because he
even
was
fucking greet.
disappointed in it. I would have done the
Let him
same
finish,
thing.
bro.
Did you see
Hold
that
Let
man?
the
on.
man
Hey,
finish,
that man was
Lenard.
Bro, I
salty.
got two more.
Listen, that
I got
man
like
was
a couple, like one more sentence,
man.
and I'm
Yeah,
done,
bro.
bro.
He had the
Let the
same
man
Stop
thing.
getting
finish,
Hey,
Lenard.
if you ever been around the black community, right? He
Stop
had
getting
the same. He
emotional,
had the
bro.
same
Let
Lenard
me
thing.
getting
It was like,
pissed,
finish.
bro. That's why he
Let
won't
me
let
finish
nobody
the
man,
finish.
finish the last little
yeah.
sentence.
You know what I'm
Hey,
Let me
saying?
finish
Story.
my
Hold on,
last
hold
little
on, hold on.
sentence, and you
Same
Story.
got
Hold on.
thing.
it.
That
Hey,
was what the
Lenore, hold
face
on for a
was,
second. Let me
man.
tell y'all something. This is
God.
something y'all
I'm
both
just
do not know.
wait,
Hold on,
Tony.
wait, Lenore,
Let the
wait,
man
wait.
finish,
Before you
Lenard. Damn.
respond, wait, let me say this. There's something both of y'all do not know. The fact is, I know it because I happened to see the screenshot of Earl Spence's phone whenever they put the camera on him. He did not run away from Bud. He was not scared. What had happened was his stable caught on fire and he had to rush out the arena
Yeah, to
immediately.
save the horses and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
Can I
Niggas
anyway,
don't
say
walk
so
something?
out,
let me
man.
tell you
Get
what
out of
that
here.
face
We're
was.
not
So
talking about
let me tell you what that
skills
face
right now.
was.
Can I
Because
say something right quick?
if you know, no, you already said something, man. What the face was a face of a man who's like, man, shit, man. That was the exact reaction. And what did the Bud fans do? They took it, they ran with it, and said, "Oh, see, look, he's scared. He's scared." No, that was the face of a man who was disappointed in the reaction that what had happened. Because at the end of the day, I'm not getting on
This
Crawford because
man know
Crawford did
what's in his
what he was
head.
supposed to do. But all I'm saying is, could have Kenny let that go at least one more try to see what would happen? Yes. And that's why I'm like, that's what
Hey,
I'm
so
going to
what,
the point.
what does Dale
It was
Crawford need to
Okay,
do,
I'm
man,
not.
to earn a
It
you
wasn't.
had your
It
turn.
wasn't Crawford's
My
fault.
turn.
It wasn't Crawford. Crawford did what Crawford was supposed to do and try to get the guy up out of there. But it was
turn.
it was Kenny and his fault that he stopped the fight in my opinion, just a little too early. We should.
But
I
you
would have
said
liked
from
to
that
see it.
performance, you definitely picking Errol Spence,
Oh,
right?
absolutely,
Off that performance.
absolutely.
All right, well, hold up,
Off that
After
performance.
performance,
hold
absolutely.
up. Wait, okay, so I'm gonna tell you
Wow.
why Spence doesn't want that fight. I'll tell you why.
Bobby Valentino
Okay,
knows
sure.
boxing.
He did an interview with the Schmo this week. Schmo, the guy's YouTube channel. He went to the Triad Combat thing that Triller was doing, and this guy asked Spence, "What do you think about Bud? Moving his top? What about leaving Top Rank? All we doing this thing trying to get that money." This man Spence literally was walking away mid speech before he could ask, "Oh, could we see y'all in the ring?"
So
He-
first
What?
off, it wasn't.
Spence don't want
I
that
saw
fight.
that interview and it wasn't mid
Spence
speech.
don't want the
He walked
fight.
away after he asked the
Spence,
question.
Spence don't want the fight. He don't want the fight.
Okay,
He don't. He don't, bro.
He don't want
Hey,
to
his
fight.
facial expressions
What
mean
I
a
saw
lot.
from your boy is a boy who's going to get knocked out. So let's stop
Right,
making
okay.
excuses for him. Let's stop
Yeah,
making excuses for him.
Spence
Acting
not.
like this guy
Spence
is.
won't give him the
He's a,
chance.
he's
Spence
a,
won't give
he's
him the
a,
chance to.
he's
yeah,
a
Spence
good
not gonna give
fighter.
him the chance
He's a
to
good
get.
fighter, bro. I'm not going to say he's not a good fighter. He did what he's supposed to do. But all I'm
Spence
saying
is
is
damaged
he
goods.
gets,
He's damaged goods.
let him get in the firefight with Spence and see what happens. Let him
Yeah,
get in the
Spence is
firefight
getting
with
knocked out.
Oh.
That's what's gonna happen.
see what
Hey,
happens.
no. We saw what happened when he got in the firefight with somebody. He had that with Sean Porter. Sean Porter made him open up more than he ever had to in his whole career, man. And that fight was close until that knockdown.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's
But the
my
thing,
point.
but watch this
Styles
though.
make fights.
Crawford stopped the
This is
motherfucker.
Porter with no power and
Crawford
short ass
stopped him.
arms who has
Hey,
to lunge
bro,
in.
it don't sound good when you keep cutting them off, man. Chill. Go ahead, bro.
You chill, man. Let him finish.
Bobby Valentino,
You're not
fall
letting us
back.
finish.
Let
You
the nigga
said
talk.
I don't get a turn. You said I don't get a turn.
Why are you defending another grown man? It's me and him. Stop defending another grown man. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, you just being rude. Get some
Man,
panel
no,
etiquette.
with this,
You is.
don't. But you call me Bobby
But no,
Valentino.
okay.
Is that not
No,
rude?
I do got a sincere
Bobby
question for you, bro.
Valentino, is that
I
not
got a real sincere question for you, my man.
ahead, man.
I got a real sincere question for you, bro.
Go ahead.
If the roles were reversed, would you be having the same energy for Crawford like we have for Spence doing what he did?
First of all, let me tell you something. If the same reaction happened, right, and Spence did that to Porter, I would have had the same thing. So that thing was stopped a little bit too early. I would have liked to see what Porter would have been able to do if he was able to survive the round. That's what I would have said, regardless. And if Crawford reacted the way he reacted with that, I could understand it and say, you know what, I understand where he was coming from with that one. That's like, man, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That was a BS stoppage. And that's not, and again, I'm not getting on Crawford because he did what he's supposed to do. I'm just getting on Kenny Porter for making that decision because, again, he loves his son. So he made an emotional decision. So that's the reason why I'm not getting on Crawford. I'm just getting on Kenny and just say there was a BS stoppage.
Yeah, he bodied himself.
Do you think
boxing
Sean,
with that comment.
Leonard, do you think Sean would have survived the round if his dad didn't pull him out?
The grown man.
I'm saying that it's a chance he could have. He deserved one more chance to see. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
So
I'm gonna be honest with you with Sean Porter. Oh my God.
Here's the problem with that, Leonard. I want you to watch back the second knockdown, right? After Porter stops crying on the canvas like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum, hitting his gloves down, right? He goes back to all four. So he's on his knees, both boxing gloves on the canvas, right? He damn near falls over. He loses his balance. He stumbles. He was done. There's no way. There was like a minute 40 something left in the round. There's no way he would have survived. It was over. His dad did the right thing.
Kenny saved his commentating career is what he did. Learn something. Kenny saved that man commentating career because Bud was about to put that man in the third. You know that shit, Leonard. You mad that they didn't allow this man Sean Porter to go out on the shield. Not everybody want to go out on their shield, Bobby Valentino. That's all I'm telling you.
On certain situations. Listen, your boy's not going to beat Spence. I would have a bet with somebody. If you think he can beat Spence,
your boy gonna win, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen,
my boy. I'm a boxing fan. You a Spence fan.
Hey, how many wait a second. Who on Spence's resume? Who on Spence's resume has any level of boxing skill even remotely close to Terrence Crawford?
Next.
I'll wait.
Who on Terrence Crawford resume has the remotely
Yuriorkis Gamboa, Sean Porter.
No, he doesn't.
Spence's toughest competition, back to back.
Listen, Terrence Crawford. Hey, no, let me say
something.
Back to back.
Terrence Crawford has a Hall of Fame resume. Spence does not.
All he has is Sean Porter. The boy is 34 years old. His best.
He don't know who the fuck Kell Brook is.
His best win is Sean Porter at 34 years old. Let that sink in.
What's Errol Smith's best wins? Go ahead.
Sean Porter, but he's not 34 years old. And he has other wins as well.
Who's his other best win?
His second best win was Kell Brook.
He beat him. He stopped them both.
And Kell Brook, the same man who had not fought a
let him marinate.
2 years. That guy that Terence Crawford stopped.
Now you making excuses.
Was that no? Was that the best? Was that anywhere near the best version of Kell Brook we ever seen with that fought?
Here we go.
No,
he was too old. He was past. He was too old.
Kell Brook was coming off a broken orbital bone of fighting the hardest punch in the sport by Triple G, bro.
Triple G broke his face who had both orbital bones broken, who had not fought at welterweight in like 3 years. That came down, was already having trouble making welterweight when he was younger. And you're telling me that was a better version of what Spence fought? Man, you're lying, you're capping, man, and that's wrong.
Man.
That was not the better version. This man looked like a dead man during weigh-in. Did you see his face? This man was a skeleton. He was a skeleton during the weigh-in with Crawford. In the face-off of Crawford, he was a skeleton.
You getting cooked, bro.
I'm just saying, listen, I take on 3, 4, 5, 6 Bud fans all the time, man. So, I mean, it ain't nothing new, man. It ain't nothing new, man. I'm just saying.
We're not getting a fight, no way, because Spence doesn't want it. So
listen, I don't think that fight's gonna happen next. I think Spence is gonna get something like a tune-up or Dr. Rustov. Then I think that fight's gonna happen in 2022. But I do not think it happens next. I think that Spence knows better. Like, I gotta be at my best to beat this guy. Let me see how my eye is doing. I've been inactive, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I don't think it's gonna happen next. No. So don't get upset if it doesn't happen next. I don't think it's gonna happen next. But I think it's going to happen in 2022 for sure.
Man, shout out to Bud Crawford, man. He got these dudes.
Man, Bud Crawford. Hey, listen. Anybody got?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna just say this one comment, man.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just make this one comment, and you can dispute it if you want to.
Yeah.
Hey, Spence's legacy is nowhere close to Bud. Like, he's not fucking with Bud on no level.
No,
listen,
he's not even an undisputed champion, bro.
You can talk this whole time, and I just listened to you, right?
I said I agree.
This man calls himself man down. Bud is on a 9-fight KO streak. Go look at it.
And most of the
fights straight.
When's the last time Spence knocked out somebody?
He calls himself strap season. Bud got way more belts than this man can ever fucking dream of. And he's been undisputed already. He just beat Errol Spence's top 2 competitions, his best opponents. Stop
Kell
them.
Brook was way past.
You made a bunch of excuses about it, right?
Excuse? What's Kell Brook? You don't even answer my question.
Is a legitimate top welterweight. Everybody knows. If you get a win over Sean Porter,
Leonard, let me tell you something. Did you know Sean Porter said that going 12 rounds with Spence wasn't as tough as fighting Terence Crawford? Did you know he said that?
I understand what he said. Okay, what's your point? Do you know that Kell? Hold on. Do you know that Kell Brook said that Errol Spence hits harder than Terence Crawford, but this 9 KO streak, right?
That's why he got knocked out in 4. That's why he got knocked out in 4 by Crawford, right? That's why Crawford took him out in 4, right?
Ask Kell Brook. Kell Brook said it himself on camera. Don't get on me because I'm saying that. Kell Brook said it.
I didn't get on you. I'm just saying. That's what Porter said.
You know. I'm trying to let you know.
I remember Brooks saying he ain't never been hit like that.
We know boxing.
Not even sparring, amateurs, nothing.
Make fights.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. No. Wait. Here's the problem with that, Leonard. Listen to me. Here's the problem with that. We could go hypothetically and say that Spence hits harder than Bud. We could go with that, but here's the problem with that. Bud doesn't hit you one time like Spence does. He hits you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and they're all power shots. When Spence is getting off, it's very singular. It's a 1, it's a 2, it's a hook, it's another hook, it's a jab, it's a straight. He's very, very single punch. So even if one punch of his is harder than one shot from Bud, it doesn't matter because Bud's going to hit you 5 times, and those 5 shots are going to be way harder than Spence's 1 shot.
Agreed. But that's exactly. But that like somebody made the same point when I was on the panel last night, and I said that's a stylistic thing. Crawford, he has good reflexes. He's very quick. So like you said, he's going to be able to hit you a whole bunch of more times than maybe what Spence could hit you. So it feels like, oh, this guy's whipping my ass, right? It's the same thing. Again, that's why I said it's like a stylistic thing. But I talk about one punch power. Again, Kell Brook himself said that Spence has more power. And again, I'm not really going to be hung up on the power part because at the end of the day, Crawford has shown he has power as well. So I'm not saying he's feather-fisted. But what I'm saying is this. Every knockout that you said about this 9 knockout streak was questionable at welterweight. Amir Khan, we know how chin he is. Throw him out of here. Jose Benavidez. The only reason why he knocked him out again was because Jose Benavidez had one leg. Kell Brook, a man.
Come on, man.
What
does your leg have to do with your damn chin, bro?
You gonna let me finish?
What the fuck?
You gonna let me finish?
Jose Benavidez is a big motherfucking welterweight, bro.
Wait, hold on. Leonard,
the same Jose Benavidez.
Wait. Let's go with that. So if that is true, listen. If that is true, because you had Benavidez get shot in the leg, which was prior to them fighting, he was fully recovered from that. But if we're going to go with that, if we're going to go down that rabbit hole, then we have to say the only reason why Tank knocked out Gamboa is because Gamboa only had one leg, and he actually tore his Achilles in the fight.
I agree. That's the only reason why he knocked him out. I'm in agreement with that. I'm not going to disagree. I'm agree with you. The only reason why he knocked Gamboa out because Gamboa had one leg got torn in the fight.
So do you speak on like when Brook came off the Triple G loss? Got his face.
I do. I do speak on it, brother. And you know what I say? I say that wasn't the best version of Kell Brook that fought Errol Spence. It was an okay, decent version. I don't give him full credit for that.
And you think that hold on, real quick. So hold on, I got a question for you. So the Bud Crawford, so the Brook that fought Bud Crawford, that was a lesser version of that Brook?
Absolutely. That was that was absolutely. That was
so not coming off the knife stab, the stab in the leg. In the Triple G loss, right? So not that Kell Brook. So we talking about a guy who's not coming off an injury, 100%. That's worse than the coming off.
But a guy who was looking already horrible at 154, a natural weight that's better for him, who's already going life and looking bad with bums. You're not understanding. That's what I'm saying. That was a worse version of Kell Brook.
He was coming off 3 wins. He was coming off 3 consecutive wins before.
He moved up to bro. He fought Triple G, bro, and broke.
What weight class did he come on wins out with against who at what weight class?
But here's the question. Here's my question for you, Lenore. Here's my question. No. Let's keep this apples to apples, okay? So we know Kell Brook broke his orbital bone fighting Triple G. We also know that after you break your orbital bone, it's easier to break the other one, which is what happened against Spence, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before he got his other orbital bone broke, was he not piecing Spence up?
He was piecing Spence up for the first 6 rounds. Even before, and again, you can look back at the scorecards or other people's scorecards. For the first half of the fight, Kell Brook went about 4 rounds. Then after that, Spence pretty much took over. Even before the orbital bone got broken, he would have probably won. He would have won anyways, regardless of whether the orbital bone would have been broken. You started to see Errol Spence come on stronger and stronger, and hit him to the body, etc., get him tired, and Spence kept coming on. So, irregardless of whether he would have broke whatever happened in the 11th round, Spence was still up going into the 11th round. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying that Kell Brook was at his best.
Here's the thing about it. Was Kell Brook ever up around against Bud?
Yes, he was, up until the stoppage.
I don't remember that. I remember Bud beating him every single round.
What?
I don't remember Kell Brook winning a round on Bud.
No,
Tony.
He may have won 1 round. He may have won 1 round.
One, maybe two.
You guys are capping.
I'm telling you,
capping.
You guys use a comment made by Tony. Don't include us, nigga. Tony made
for the 4 rounds, right? And Kell Brook definitely won the first 2. The 3rd round could have been a swing, either way, because you saw Bud try to figure him out.
I don't remember that. I remember whenever I watched it.
Okay, Tony.
I had it a landslide victory.
When y'all done debating that, Kell Brook got stopped. So
he got stopped.
He got stopped, bro. So we can do all of the how many rounds he won, all of that. That's
he got swept, no doubt. But he was a bum at that point. I'm not gonna act like he wasn't a bum.
Whoa, he still had.
Hold on, he's a bum.
He was a bum. Yes, he was.
Okay, so if he was a bum, then what does that make Errol Spence for beating him?
Bro, you disrespectful.
No, I said he was a bum at that point.
That's just ultimate disrespect.
Wait, no. Okay, wait. Who's a better fighter? Okay, here's my question. Who's a better fighter, Danny Garcia or Kell Brook? Kell Brook.
Right now, Danny Garcia.
No, period.
Right now.
What has Danny done at welterweight to compare to Brook?
Overall, Danny Garcia. Overall, yeah, Danny Garcia.
Well, I mean, who's Danny Garcia beat at welterweight to make him one of the
at welterweight though?
No.
He beat Bam Bam Rios. That's
no. Right.
Adrian Granado.
Or no, wait. He beat Robert Guerrero.
Did you not say overall?
Guerrero is probably his best.
Hold on. Did you not say overall?
For the Robert Guerrero had no business being in welterweight.
Who's more of a Hall of Famer? Is it Danny Garcia or Kell Brook?
Repeat your question, Lenore.
Who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame first? Kell Brook or Danny Garcia?
Neither one of them.
No. I got you. Answer the question. Answer the question now. I didn't say neither. Who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more? Danny Garcia or Kell Brook?
Neither one of them do.
It's based, no, exactly. You don't want to answer the question because I got you. At the end of the day, Danny Garcia is a two-way champion.
Danny Garcia champion.
I think he will about 3 belts at 2 at 140, I believe, and 1 at 147. At the end of the day, you can say what you want to say, but at least Danny Garcia's resume is even better at 140, not 147.
This man went from defending Spence to now defending Danny. He need to be in the Hall of Fame.
So man, you know who's going to show up? That one dude, that JF, that TV guy. Danny,
you need to put your own payroll, man. Lenore.
Hey, man, listen. I say what I say, and I tell the truth based on what I know. I'm not gonna cap for no fighter. I don't care. But from what I saw, Styles make fights.
Hey, I'm going to say this right now, Lenore. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Go ahead.
I want to see, and I'm saying because of you right now, and we need to start this on all our channels. We need to push for Bud Crawford to fight Danny Garcia next, because I guarantee Danny gets knocked the fuck out.
I agree.
So Tony, didn't he already decline that fight?
Bud sleeps Thurman Spence and
I believe he already turned that fight down, correct?
Yeah.
How
much did he offer?
Okay. All right.
Hold on. How much did T Bud offer Amir Khan compared to Danny Garcia?
Come on, bro. I mean,
exactly.
Danny turned the fight down. Danny turned the fight down.
How much did he offer Amir Khan?
Over like $3 million.
$7 million. And then he offered Danny Garcia
and put him on his resume too.
$5 million. Why would I take that type of purse when you're paying a man who's way past his best? You're giving him more than what you'll give me. That makes absolutely no sense.
We don't know what the fuck Danny on at this point. So
I know he'll beat Amir Khan.
Say again.
I know he has enough juice to beat Amir Khan.
Why are we comparing?
Why would he fight Amir Khan again?
Fuck you talking about?
I know he has enough juice to beat Amir Khan.
Hey, listen, prior to that though, Amir Khan was outboxing Canelo Alvarez before he got knocked out. You understand? So he still had the ability to box up to the point when he fought Terrence Crawford. So let's not act like he still wasn't a threat. He wasn't back.
Threat. He was absolutely past his best too. He was no threat, man.
I mean, he was. No, his best years was in 2009, 2012, 2013. I got you. But the thing about it is, all these guys that fought him, but he still had the ability to box. He still had power. He still could move. He still had a jab. He still was a capable boxer. It's just that, Crawford disposed of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So it's not like you said, a far past his best Amir Khan. And even then in that fight, even though it stopped the way it stopped with the nut shot or whatever you want to call it, you could at least see even Amir Khan was kind of coming back before he got hit in the damn nuts. So I mean, he didn't
get hit in the nuts. He didn't get hit in the nuts.
Well, excuse hit in his leg, whatever you want to call it, did whatever happened, that controversial thing, we got hit in his leg. At least Amir Khan was still kept.
Khan gave the fuck up.
He knew what time it was.
No. Let me tell you. Let me say this right now. Let me tell you what's worse than getting knocked out. Getting the fight beat out of you to where you quit the fight. That's what happened to Khan. He literally got the fight beat out of him, and he gave up.
Quick
I agree.
Khan knew what time it is. He was about to get slept.
No, I agree. He didn't want that to happen. I agree with you. I think Khan got scared. Like, I don't want to get my ass slapped. I'm not going to say that. No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, at least with Amir Khan was still kind of coming back. I'm saying all Bud's knockouts at 147 have been questionable. It has.
Whoa. Jeff Horn. Let's deal with Jeff Horn. Tough fighter.
Okay, no, excuse me. Right. You're right about that. But Jeff Horn's the only one that's not. I give you that. Jeff Horn was not.
Jeff Horn was a tough motherfucker Pacquiao could.
What about Mean Machine?
Okay, let's talk about Kavaliauskas.
Yeah,
Kavaliauskas is the same man again. who had, again, a man who had never fought for a championship, who was a guy coming up, not from a weight class, but that had never fought coming up, meaning like coming up in boxing. He's coming up in boxing, and he never fought for a championship. And then we look at his next fight against Virgil Ortiz, against a prospect, and he could not even make it into the championship rounds.
That wasn't his next fight, by the way. That wasn't his next fight, by the way. He had a fight. He had a tune-up fight, and he knocked the guy out before he fought Virgil.
Yeah, but again, what my point, yes. But
and
my
he
point
damn near dropped Ortiz.
Huh?
I said he damn near dropped Ortiz.
No, I'm not questioning his punching power. I'm just saying his chin. I'm not questioning his punching power. I'm just questioning his chin. Again, got knocked out by. I mean, at the end of the day, he should not have got knocked out.
He got knocked out by two knockout artists. Like, what are we talking about here? That's what happens when you fight a knockout artist. Hold on, when you fight knockout artists and you get caught, you get knocked out. He got caught by two knockout artists. So it's not like no. Wait. What you're saying is because Mean Machine got knocked out by Ortiz, who knocks damn near everybody out he fights. He got knocked out by Bud Crawford, who's knocked everybody out at 147. That he doesn't have a chin. No, the fact is, he got knocked out by knockout artists. You're acting like if Cal Velasquez went in there against Devin Haney, he would get knocked out.
So, is Virgil Ortiz a knockout artist? He's still an up-and-coming prospect. He has yet to face a top-level guy.
He's knocked out everybody. He's knocked out everybody he's fought. He's knocked out everybody he's fought. Yeah, he's a knockout artist. He's knocked out and stopped everybody he's fought.
So, would you say again? Let me ask you a question. Is Floyd Mayweather a knockout artist when he was in his pretty boy days? And what happened when he moved up to 147 and really started fighting the Hall of Famers? What happened? Was he getting knockouts like that?
No.
Exactly. That's my point.
Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute.
That's the competition.
Hold on. See, the thing about Floyd is, was he a knockout artist early? Yes, he was getting knockouts. As he got older and he changed up the style to be more defensive, was he still knocking guys out? No. But nobody at welterweight could walk through his shots. Every dude he would hit, he would stop them in their tracks. The difference is Floyd didn't go for the kill. It's not that he couldn't get the kills. It's just that he was fighting smart and didn't want to put himself at risk. I guarantee you, if Floyd Mayweather, even later in his career, would have went for the kills, he would have got him. The dude's power is extremely underrated because every person Floyd hit never walked through any of his shots. He stood them up, stopped them in their tracks.
Hey, listen, I love Floyd Mayweather, but Bo was not a knockout artist. Bo could not get. I don't believe your narrative when you say, listen, Floyd Mayweather, he could get the knockout. Tony, I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, I saw Floyd hurt fighters and just not pursue.
Not at 147.
I saw him hurt fighters.
Not at 147 is good enough. No, he couldn't. Again,
I saw him hurt fighters and not pursue.
But Tony, he could, even when he pursued. Now Canelo Alvarez completely outboxed him. He couldn't even drop him.
You're not understanding what I'm saying, Leonard. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm telling you. You're not understanding.
I get what you're saying.
He did not knock out Canelo because he stood his ground in the center of the ring and he caught Canelo coming in with check hooks, with straights, and then he would take a little couple of steps back, wait for Canelo to come, bop, bop, and get out the way, wait for Canelo to come back and bop, bop, get out the way, and it was rinse and repeat like that all night long. That's the only reason why he doesn't get knockouts. He would hurt dudes and back away from them when they were hurt because he never put himself in danger to be put away himself. That is why he didn't have the knockouts. But what I'm telling you is, if he would have pressed on the gas, I guarantee you he would have finished a lot of guys, even late in his career.
And Tony, I'm telling you, I disagree with you. Please explain the Miguel Cotto. Please explain the Miguel Cotto.
He's right about that though. He is right about that though. Because I mean, Mayweather. See, here's the thing about Mayweather, right? You know, and I'll say this about his punching power. You know, when he, of course, in the lower weight class, he came in as a power puncher, right? Out from the Olympics, he was knocking motherfuckers out left and right in 135 division. I mean, the 126, 130, all the way up to 135. When it came to welterweight, you know, of course, you know, his hand's a little bit brittle, and problem with Mayweather is that, you know, the reason why he didn't knock nobody out is because he fought a whole lot more defensive in the latter stage of his career. You know what I'm saying? And when you if you take you step off the gas pedal, you're not going to be able to have the opportunities to stop your opponents. But at least one thing about him with his timing is that he had stopping power to keep guys from coming up in on him.
I
You know
agree
what
with
I'm saying?
that.
So
I agree with that. Floyd had just enough pop to keep guys off him, like Maidana in the first fight. Floyd had just enough pop to keep a guy from just rushing in there, right? I agree with that. But what I cannot agree with again is at the end of the day, Floyd was not no KO artist at 147, especially with his competition. With his best wins are at 147 when his competition really dramatically increased. I don't think Floyd would have got the stoppages. I don't think Floyd. Go ahead.
Looking at the power, shot by shot, Floyd had he been aggressive, he could have stopped guys, but he wasn't. My point to this is, let's say I cannot. No. Just listen to what I'm about to tell you, Leonard. Let's say that if I hit you 4 times, it knocks you out no matter what. Okay, you're gonna get knocked out. You can't take 4 shots from me, but I only hit you 3 times around. Well, I won't get the knockout because I'm not being aggressive enough to hit you that 4th time. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't knock you out. It just means that I didn't try for it. I didn't go for it. I didn't put myself in danger to get that 4th knock or that 4th punch in to knock you out. That's what I'm trying to tell you about.
I see your point.
It's Tony, the dude had a lot of fucking punching power because he was stopping people in their fucking tracks.
Dude, I understand what you're saying. You don't have to tell me anymore. I understand what you're saying, Tony. But I'm saying you're wrong, bro. At the end of the day, we can't go based off of coulda, shoulda, woulda. If Floyd would have just stepped to him, he would have got the stoppage. I can't go with that. I have to go with what we see on paper. Floyd, his knockouts went dramatically down when he went to 147. I'm not saying that he's feather-fisted. I'm not saying that he's pillow-fisted. All I'm saying is you cannot deny the fact that his power did go down at 147. And again, did he get some knockouts at 147? Yes, I guess Marquez and that was on the catchway, but Marquez and on Hatton, he did get some. I'm not saying he didn't get none. But what I'm saying is I can't just go based on what you're saying. Oh, listen, Floyd woulda, coulda, shoulda, would have done it. I can't go by that. You know what I'm saying? I respect Floyd. He's one of my all-time favorite fighters, but I can't go by that.
Leonard, question. But so Virgil Ortiz is not a knockout artist, right? According to you, is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying he could be, but what I'm saying is if his competition.
So he is. What are you talking about?
No, can you let me?
Hey, let me finish. Let me finish.
Let me finish what I have to say. I'm answering your question, then I'll let you give you the floor. Virgil Ortiz is not. Excuse me. I'm not sure if he is a knockout artist because his competition right now has not been up to par. What happens when he steps up in competition? But go ahead. That's my answer. Go ahead.
Well, he has stepped up in competition in his last 2 fights. He beat Maurice Hooker, former light welterweight champion. Egis Kaviauskas, a guy who gave Crawford a good fight. He's stepping up in competition. He has. So, and he's knocked out all of his opponents.
Brother.
He's knocked out all of his opponents. So he is a knockout artist.
So Earl Spence, he was getting stoppages before he started to step up against pound-for-pound fighters and world-class athletes.
Well, let me ask you this. Is Earl
Spence? Let me ask you. No. Let me ask you this. What happened when he fought people when he started to step up against the Danny Garcia, Sean Porter? Was he getting the stoppages? Yes or no? Okay, that's my same.
Let me ask you a question. Is Deontay Wilder a knockout artist?
Yes, he is.
So why when he stepped up in competition, he quit getting the knockouts?
Against Tyson Fury, the very best in that weight class?
Tyson Fury. He's only fought 3 top 10 guys. When he fought Bermane Stiverne, he didn't get the knockout. Stiverne had the vacated title. He did not get the knockout. He knocked out Stiverne after Stiverne had been out of the ring for 2 years straight, and then he came back into the fight. That's when Stiverne got knocked out. But when he fought him when Stiverne was active, he didn't get the knockout, okay? He did knock out Luis Ortiz. But then he fought Tyson Fury. He didn't get the knockout again. So out of 3 fights, he only has a 33% knockout ratio against top 10 guys.
Okay, and here's my retort to that. I view Tyson Fury as the very best in that weight class. I view him number 1. I believe he beats anybody in that weight class. So if he didn't knock out the very best in that weight class, number 1, not number 2, number 3, the very best in that weight class, you could say, oh, well, listen, at the end of the day, he didn't get the knockout at the very best. Does that mean he's not a knockout puncher? No.
But if we're going on your scale, if we're going on your scale, he only knocked out 1 out of the 3 top 10 fighters he fought in his entire career. Everybody else was tomato cans. They weren't top 10 fighters. Everybody he knocked out wasn't. So if that be the case, if Ortiz is not a knockout artist, then by your scale, by your measurements, neither is Deontay Wilder.
I believe he's at the end of the day, he's shown that he can knock out a top level competition in Luis Ortiz. Has he not?
Luis Ortiz, he knocked him out, but why didn't he knock out Bermane Stiverne?
Okay, but I get that. He didn't knock out Bermane Stiverne, so he had 1 for 1 for that. Understood, but he's able to knock out.
And Bermane in the second time, and real quick, and let's put
Blaze.
And now real quick, let's put some context to that as well. Mm-hmm. The first fight, Bermane Stiverne was fighting consistently. Prior to him fighting Deontay Wilder, the second fight, where he got fucking annihilated, right? Mm-hmm. He had not fought in like a year and a half.
Okay,
that's something we have to also take into account, that ring rust possibly played a factor. I mean, he still got fucking destroyed, but I'm just saying, you know, some of those guys that Wilder a great puncher, but I'm gonna tell you something. When we put context into the top level competition of guys that he actually fought, it took him a while to knock out Luis Ortiz in the first fight. In the second fight, he knocked him out too. Also got to put context there too. Luis Ortiz is a 45, 46. I don't give a fuck what the age says. That motherfucker's in his mid to late 40s. That's how them Cubans do. And he was coming out, from what I was remember hearing, is that he had some like heart problems and shit, bro. Like he had to take heart medication and shit. So we also got to put context into that aspect too. But go ahead.
Agreed. And what I'm saying is, at least like we said, if you agree that Luis Ortiz is a top 10 guy, at least with Wilder, he got that one knockout. With Luis Ortiz, we have yet to see, not Luis Ortiz, with Virgil Ortiz, we have yet to see him knock out anybody on the top level. That's my say. I'm talking about A class. I'm not talking about people like Kavaliauskas or somebody like a Maurice Hooker. I'm talking about somebody who's A class, like a Sean Porter, like a Spence, etc. Like a Keith Thurman. That's what I'm talking about.
Wasn't Kavaliauskas a top 10 fighter when Ortiz knocked him out?
He was a top 10 fighter, yes.
Okay, stop, pause right there. So if we take Ortiz on his first fight against a top 10 fighter, and we look at Wilder's fight against a first top 10 fighter, Ortiz got the knockout and Wilder didn't.
And that makes sense.
Wait. Hold on. Pause. You said first. Why are you just saying first and not counting the Luis Ortiz thing? You can't do that.
Listen. If you count Luis Ortiz, then you have to count Tyson Fury. That means out of 3 top 10 fighters that Wilder fought, he only knocked out 1. That's only a 33% knockout ratio.
And so let me respond. And you can't just like form a narrative, say, at the first guy. No, you have to take everything into context. And I didn't make this point, and I'll make it now. At the end, let me ask you a question. Is there a difference between the top guys at welterweight compared to the top 10 guys at what, meaning the top 3 or top 4, even top 5 guys? Is there not a difference in class that you see compared to somebody who's top 10 at welterweight, like maybe like a Earl Spencer's mandatory? What's that guy's name? Kujatila Abdulkakarov or Stacionis. Is there not at least a difference that you can see in skill? Yes or no?
I think the heavyweights are more skilled or more dangerous fights than the welterweights are at the top.
Okay, thank you.
But
that being so, if you stick by that statement,
if you're gonna go down that, you still have to come back to the fact that you're basing them off of top 10 fighters. If you only base Deontay Wilder off top 10 fighters, no, that's what you said, because you said that Ortiz.
You said that.
No. I'm about to tell you what you said. What you said was Ortiz's resume is too weak to call him a knockout artist. So you have to go by the top guys. That's what you're looking for. Well, he knocked out the first top guy he fought. However, when Deontay Wilder had 40 some odd bums that he knocked out in his first top 10 fight, he couldn't get the knockout. But yet you call Wilder a knockout artist and you say Ortiz is not.
Okay, Tony reviews, but I asked you a question.
That is a contradiction, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I asked you a question, Tony. What did I ask you? I said, is there a difference between? And you said yes. You think that guys even out heavyweight, those top 10 guys are more of a threat than the other top 10 guys at welterweight. So if you believe that, there is a difference in class between the top of the top.
Hold on. I did not say they were more skilled at heavyweight. I said they're more dangerous, meaning that all of them can knock you out. At heavyweight, if you get hit right, you can get knocked out by any one of the guys at the top. Whereas welterweight, you may not get knocked out by the top guys. You might be able to go all 12 rounds, even if the welterweights land a good shot. If you go off of skills, Cal Velasquez is a lot more skilled, in my opinion, than 49-year-old Luis Ortiz, who only beat Brian Jennings. That's the only person he's ever beat.
So again, to then answer my question, if I guess since you're looping around it,
you're contradicting.
You said more dangerous, but
you're contradicting yourself.
I'm not. You're contradicting yourself. What did I ask Tony? What did I ask?
Here's the bottom line, Leonard. Here's the bottom line. If Wilder is a knockout artist, then you have to call Ortiz a knockout artist. It's just that plain and simple.
What I'm just trying to get you to answer the question. What I'm saying is this. There is a difference between the top of the top at welterweight, like Spence, Crawford, Thurman when he was at his best, a Porter, compared to somebody like Estaciones or a Kudratilo Abdulkadirov. And that's what I'm saying. Are you going to deny that, or are you going to say yes or no? Be honest. Is there a difference?
I'm going to say that Mean Machine is a much better fighter than Stavern was.
So you're not answering the question, okay?
I did answer the question.
You did answer the question several times.
You didn't. You answered the question in the heavy. I'm not talking about heavyweight.
Listen to what I'm telling you. It's welterweight compared to heavyweight. I'm comparing the welterweight of Cal Velasquez, aka Mean Machine, to the heavyweight of Bermain Stavern. And what I'm telling you is Mean Machine is a way better fighter. And the difference here is Wilder didn't get the knockout against a guy who's not as skilled as Cal Velasquez, who got knocked out by Virgil Ortiz. So, again, I have to come back to, if Ortiz is not a knockout artist, then neither is Deontay Wilder, by your logic.
Okay, so
what kind of logic is that, bro?
My question about the Estaciones and Kudratilo Abdulkadirov, do you consider them on the same level of a prime Keith Thurman, of Sean Porter, of Earl Spence, of Terrence Crawford? Do you consider them on that? Would you favor them?
Keith Thurman's supposed to still be in his prime, but he don't want to fight nobody.
But yeah, I understand he doesn't want to fight nobody. But Tony, answer that. Do you consider that?
No.
Okay, and I agree with you. I'm saying this: we have yet to see him Virgil Ortiz step against the top of the weight class. He's beat these guys like a Maurice Hooker, coming up in weight by mind you. Again, he broke his arm, but still coming up in weight, and Kavaliauskas.
So
we have yet to see him against the A class. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Here's the problem. Luis Ortiz has never been an A class fighter, in my opinion, B+ at best. And if you're going for top 10, he's at the very bottom of the totem pole. The top of the top for Deontay Wilder to knock out would have to be, if we're doing it in comparison to like a Spencer or a Bud or whatever, then that means Wilder should have been fighting Fury, which he couldn't knock out. He should have been fighting a Dillian White. He should have been fighting now a Usyk, a Joe Joyce, a Anthony Joshua. Those are the top of the top, not a Luis Ortiz. So again,
I'm telling you, all I'm doing is
defending. Metric. If Deontay Wilder is a knockout artist, then Ortiz has to be. If Ortiz is not a knockout artist, then neither is Deontay Wilder.
Listen, you're the one who brought up top 10. I'm just defending myself because you said top 10. I'm saying about top 10. You said top 10.
Ortiz is a knockout artist. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, again, he's a knockout artist right now, but what's going to happen when he steps up? Is he going to get the knockouts? Not sure. You came up with the criteria of the top 10 being good. You came up with that criteria. I did not.
But we've seen Wilder step up and not get the knockouts. So therefore, hypothetically, you're saying that we don't know if Ortiz will continue to knock out. But
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Factually, we know when Wilder stepped up, he didn't get the knockouts. So therefore, again, I come back full circle to, if Wilder is a knockout artist, then Ortiz has to be.
No, but then what did I say to retort that? I asked you a simple question. You said no. I said, is there a difference in class between the welterweights, the top of the top welterweights, like top 3 and top 4, compared to the other fighters like Stacionis and Kudratilo Abdulkakarov? And you said, yes, there's a difference. Or excuse me, you said, no, you don't believe that they're as much of a threat to the top guys at welterweight. You did say that.
Again, that's like taking Brazil or who did he knock out? It wasn't Hellenius. Who did he knock out?
Brazil?
Huh?
Brazil?
No, I said Brazil. He knocked out Brazil. What was the guy's name? It's not Hellenius. Some name like that he knocked out. Like, those don't compare to the Dillian Whites, the Povetkin's, the AJs. They don't compare to that. So it's the same argument. You're using your own argument against you, because when you do that at the heavyweight division, then Wilder comes up short. So again, I come back full circle to, if Virgil Ortiz is not a knockout artist, then Deontay Wilder's not a knockout artist. No, the fact that I'm using
your logic talking about Deontay Wilder, because I'm using the top 10 criteria that you put out there. If he's able to knock out Luis Ortiz, who's a top 10 fighter, and we have not seen Virgil Ortiz knock out any of the top class welterweights, then I'm using your logic.
We saw him knock out the top 10 in Cal Velasquez.
Yes. I'm talking about when I say top 10, I'm talking about the absolute best of the best.
That doesn't make. I mean,
Wilder, that's what I'm saying. Wilder has not knocked out the absolute best of the best.
You said Leonard. You named
that criteria, Tony.
Leonard, you view Tyson Fury as the best in the heavyweight division. That's what you said, right? But Wilder fought him 3 times and couldn't knock him out.
And what did I say when I said that? I said that Tyson Fury is, to me, like I said, number 1 in the welterweight. Not welterweight, heavyweight. And if he's number 1, and what I don't expect a lot of people to knock out the absolute top guy at heavyweight.
Okay. Wait. All right. Let me ask you this. Let's say Virgil Ortiz was to go fight Errol Spence, right? He fought Errol Spence.
Yeah.
And he knocked out Spence. Is Ortiz not a knockout artist then?
You can say, he's getting, yes. If you're talking about if he's knocking out the top guys, right? If you started knocking out top guys, then you can say it's possible. Yeah, he could be a knockout artist. Yes.
Okay. But Deontay Wilder didn't knock out Tyson Fury, but he's a knockout artist.
But at least using Tony's logic again, if you just listen slowly, using Tony's logic of the top 10 guys, at least Deontay Wilder was able to knock out Luis Ortiz again using his logic. So that's like at least you can still be considered a knockout artist if you use Tony's criteria of top 10. He put that out there. I did not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gotta hand it to you, man. Shit. You still hung around, man. After that Errol Spence smoke, I thought you was for sure about to get up out of here. But anyway.
No, man. Listen. If I'm wrong about something, I'll admit that I'm wrong about something.
You wrong about Errol, but it's all good.
When it comes to this Spence Crawford thing, assuming Spence is healthy, again, because we don't know how his eye is, right? He's been inactive. Assuming that he's at his best.
Hold on. Now you factoring in his eye and shit. Because before you said you for sure off that performance from Crawford against Porter that Errol Spence gonna win. Now you talking about his eye. Go ahead.
Okay, and that's going again. I didn't get because you guys were cutting me off. I didn't get to really fully expound on it. That is because I'm going off of the assumption that he's going to be at his best, because like I said before, giving you evidence, I don't believe he's going to fight Crawford next.
I'm just saying, if it happens, I just don't want you to bring the eye up, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. You talk if it happens next. We don't want me bringing the eye up.
If it happens, I'm just saying, if it happens, don't ever bring up the eye. Just
listen. I'm gonna tell you, if the eyes, assuming again, I'm going off the assumption that he's going to be healthy for this fight, 100% healthy. Active and stuff.
Don't worry, man. I don't think he's taking the fight anyway. But
he's not going to take the fight. It's not going to happen.
Don't say nothing about the eye. That's all I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, at the end of the day, with any fighter, if there's an injury, there's an injury. But I mean, again, whether it's an eye, a hand, an elbow, or whatever. But again,
but the fight's not going to happen. Spence doesn't want it, so we'll probably never get it.
Right. So,
all right, we'll see. Hold on. Let's shift gears.
Walking away.
We're gonna go in this order. We're gonna shift gears. We're gonna go back to what this was actually about. And not putting Spence. Kambosos versus Haney. Who wins? We're going to go Leonard. We're going to go AJ. Then we're going to go Black Horseman, because that's the order I see y'all on the screen. So, Leonard, you go. AJ, you go. Then Black, you go. Who wins this fight? Why and how?
Okay. I favor Haney to win against George. Well, it's like a 50-50 for me. But I favor Haney to win just because I believe he's the faster and better boxer than George is. But I would not be surprised if George can win. But if we put a gun to my head and put it and it said who would I pick, I would pick Haney. But what makes it a 50-50 for me so close now is because again, I mean every advantage. Now you're talking about fighting George in Australia. If you fight George in Australia, we all know in boxing matches when you go into a fighter's homeland, like hometown, that is an advantage. You know what I'm saying against for that fighter. So with that being said, but if you put a gun to my head, I would favor Haney to win by UD. I think 7 rounds to 5. Or I know, excuse me. What I had it last night was a split. I think that he's gonna win by a split, a controversial split, like 7 rounds to 5. Go ahead, guys.
Okay. Based on what I agree with Leonard. I would give it a Kambosos and Haney a 50-50 matchup. But due to what I saw last night from Devin, I'd edge George probably 60-40. Based on his performance against Tio. George is more durable than Haney. Better, he took Tio's best shots, didn't really budge, didn't really get hurt from what I saw. He was able to mark Tio up pretty bad, dropped him in the first. And I think his speed is very underrated. I mean, it's comparable to Devin's, but I think his speed is very fast, and I think that if Devin can't get, it's the same thing with JoJo because like when JoJo was started to come back a little bit, throw combos at Devin, he got hurt Devin, and Devin didn't really like that, and George will really press the initiative, really step on the gas. So based on that, I favor George to win, maybe late stoppage. So. I mean, and plus if Devin can't get George's respect, then yeah, George is gonna press and press and press, and the more and more uncomfortable Devin is gonna see him in there. So that's all. GC Flame, you got it.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of wait because I'm gonna speak on this on my channel, but I'll speak on it a little bit. I agree with you in the sense that I think it's a 50-50 fight. I respect Kambosos, but I wanted to say this, and I don't think a lot of people factored this in. I heard them say this before the fight, but that was the first southpaw that Devin Haney had fought in his whole professional career. I believe I heard that correctly.
Oh, really?
And yeah, that was his first southpaw. And so I factored that in before the fight started. I'm like, oh shit, so he might be some problems dealing with that southpaw in the left hand, and we seen that. He had his defense is really good versus other right-handers. Y'all notice that. Like he hardly even get hit. He's pretty much sharp, but that left hand kept getting through. And I'm factoring the fact that he's getting ready to possibly go into the undisputed match with Kambosos. He's not a southpaw. See what I'm saying? So when you look at speed, I think Devin Haney has a speed advantage. I think that Kambosos is very good on his toes, very, very good, and he's a very smart boxer. He's a thinker in there. But I think that we've seen vulnerabilities in Haney in this fight because he was fighting a southpaw. Of course, it was a shorter guy, experienced guy, and truth be told, he was really, he's very durable. JoJo is durable, but he's familiar with the speed because he saw it with Gary Russell. So I factored that in before the fight started that, he might be able to deal with Devin Haney's speed, time him, and things like that. But Devin Haney was able to break him down, crucial to the body, breaking him down, crucial to the body. Hopefully Kambosos keeps the same energy and wants that fight. Now Kambosos can say whatever he want to say, but Luke DeBella acting different out here. And the way Luke DeBella acting, I don't know if this fight gonna happen. So hopefully it happens. We know Devin Haney, without a doubt, wants the fight. Clearly, like T.O. never wanted that. He was on some different shit. He got blazed. So he wasn't about real undisputed. Get up out the way then. Hopefully, George Kambosos keep the same energy and he wants this fight. Otherwise, it could be you can get blazed in your next little defense or some shit. You know what I mean? Playing games. So Devin Haney's hungry. It was some vulnerabilities. Hopefully, it was enough for Kambosos to be like, look, hey, let's really get it on because I can take him. So, but I still say it could be a 50-50 fight. I think they both intelligent, and it's just undisputed, man. Let's make it happen.
Hey, UGC, were you favoring? You said you're favoring Haney.
I was just pointing out certain attributes. Like I think the speed of Devin Haney is he has the advantage in speed. I think his defense is sharper. And then I want to say this too, to factor this in. We got to remember T.O. did not fight his best fight. Okay. T.O. lost the fight, clearly. So all the shit he was talking at the end, fuck that. You lost, bro. But you fought the wrong fight. He didn't fight the right game plan. He was going in there look for the KO. I thought that was just some shit to say to build up and promote the fight. But he actually went in there trying to get the KO in the first round. And that was terrible. And after the second and third, it was like, bro, you doing the same shit. Same thing. And Kambosos picking you apart. He's just piecing you up. So T.O. didn't fight smart. You know, Kambosos did. Devin Haney is a smart fighter. He's a smart fighter. You know what I mean? So
I agree with you. You made a lot of good points. Now, before we went agreeing, but this I totally agree with you. I brought up the same point to Tony before about, you know, was T.O. at his best? Like you said, he didn't fight a smart fight. And
he didn't.
And then you said that was very crucial that I didn't bring up, but is that JoJo was hitting Haney with overhand lefts. He wasn't hitting him with overhand right. It wasn't right. It was lefts. It wasn't right. It was lefts. So that could be a difference, right? It wasn't right. It was lefts. So yeah, and Kambosos, styles is what I'm saying. So that's why I favor Haney slightly, but then what makes it so close is because of the Australia thing. But go ahead. I agree with you.
That's how I feel about it. I'm gonna speak more on my channel on it, but you know, I respect Tony, so I'm gonna speak my piece on his.
I'm gonna say that after seeing what I saw against JoJo, I think it's a 75% chance that Kambosos beats him.
Damn.
And beats him badly. Wow. Now here's the thing about
it. Fuck dealing with Leonard. Damn, Tony. 75%.
75% chance that Kambosos walks away with it. And here's the thing about it. I have no issues with Devin Haney. I love his mentality. Devin Haney mentally is the type of guy that you want to be champion. He is the type of guy who chases everybody for nothing more than greatness, okay? That I give him all the credit in the world. Mentally, he's what you want a champion to be in a time of where guys are too scared to lose and too scared to fight the other top guys. Haney is the only one. We'll see if George Kambosos keeps that same energy because I don't like how he's talking. That appears to be what you want. The best fighting the best throwback style fighter. However, physically, can he beat George? I don't think he can because I've now seen a shorter guy get off shots who's, like I said, shorter than Kambosos, much slower than Kambosos. He hurt Haney at times and doesn't hit anywhere as hard as Kambosos and doesn't apply the same amount of pressure as Kambosos. Because even when T.O. was coming forward on Kambosos never let up on the pressure against T.O. as well. Yes, T.O. was trying to knock him out. Yes, T.O. was coming forward, but the pressure was being reapplied by Kambosos at all times. T.O. was always stuck in the fight. Whether he wanted to be there or not, Kambosos kept him in the fight. Hey, I'm echoing real bad. Thank you. And my thing is this. It's going to come down to speed could play a big factor. If Devin Haney is faster, maybe he can get off his shots first. But from what I've seen from Kambosos, if you can't hurt him, and even when you do hurt him, like T.O. did after he dropped him, he still comes at you. So the question is, does Devin Haney have enough pop to keep Kambosos off of him? Because Kambosos doesn't have to knock him out. He just has to outpoint him. And I don't think he does. I don't think he can keep Kambosos off of him. And if Haney does
So Tony, you see Kambosos being the aggressor, just coming forward because he didn't fight Teofimo like that. He just outboxed him. He was really good on the back foot. He just outboxed
him. George did stand and trade with T.O. at times as well. He didn't just like be on the move. I mean, he did stand in the pocket with T.O. at times.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah, at times.
But he's saying that how is he gonna keep Kambosos off him? So you saying that
because you gotta look at this. You gotta look at this, Black.
Swarming him or something.
Against Lee Shelby, he went straight for him. Against Mickey Bay, he went straight for him. So those were two speed guys like Devin is, two back-footed fighters like Devin is, and he went full speed ahead straight into them and beat them on points on the scorecard. And I don't.
Wait, so Tony, do you think? But do you think that if you think that Haney is a little faster guy, and I'm assuming that you think he's a little bit better of a boxer as well, a little bit.
If he's faster, I don't know which one's faster, to be honest with you. I have to see them both in the ring to know, because I made this comparison before. It's like watching a Venom GT race a Bugatti. Like, you know which car's faster if they're side by side, but if you see the Bugatti do 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, you're not going to see the difference in between the Venom doing it in 2.8 seconds. It's not till they're side by side you're truly going to know who's faster.
Okay, so you're saying that
I think
by the eye test, you think Haney though? By the eye test,
I would favor Haney to be faster, but I don't know how much, and I don't know if it's enough to make a difference. I think even if George is faster than Haney, I think it's going to be minimal between the two. So one may have a slight edge, but I don't think it's going to be enough to where either guy is going to be able to stay away from either guy. And that's where I think it's going to cause Haney a lot of issues, because if Kambosos' pop is way more than Haney's, Haney's going to have to back up. But if Haney can't stay away from him with his speed because Kambosos is right there with him, then it's going to come down to who can hit harder if they're damn near the same speed, who can take the better shots. And from what I've seen, I think Kambosos reacts better, and I think he has a better chin than Haney.
We've seen Kambosos hit the canvas. Devin hasn't yet. So factor that into. I know people always bring up like, oh, Devin be getting buckled and shit, but he's never hit the canvas.
That's what you said. I mean, Haney has a chin too.
Devin hasn't hit the canvas yet.
So here's the problem.
Yet to be seen.
Right, but here's the problem. Devin's never fought a knockout artist like Teofimo Lopez to be dropped. The hardest puncher he ever fought was Linares, and he damn near got buckled. Yes,
that same guy dropped.
No. He stayed on his feet. I give him all the credit in the world. I give him all the credit. But the thing is, you can't compare a Linares landing a clean shot on you to a Teofimo Lopez landing a clean shot on you.
That's fair.
That's true.
That's fair, but I mean, he did get hit by more than one shot. Tony, it was like about 2-3 successive shots that he got hit with Linares by, and still was able to hold on and be on his feet.
Right. But look at how they reacted differently. Haney went into survival mode and really was doing things I didn't like defensively. Like, there was a time where he just walked with his arms out like he wanted to hug Linares and went for the clinch because he was hurt. He didn't fight his way into the clinch. When Kambosos got hurt, he got up, he got tagged some more, but while he was moving away from Tio, even though he got tagged, and he was still firing back. He didn't become offensively null and void target. He was still throwing shots back. And I just feel like when they both were hurt, Kambosos, in my opinion, reacted better. He had the better defense when hurt. I don't know.
But at the same time, and I see what you're saying, Tony, but we have to factor this in. He almost got, Kambosos almost really did get stopped by Tio. Like, you know what I'm saying? He almost got stopped
but here's the thing. Tyson Fury almost got stopped by Deontay Wilder. But when you're getting hit by the guy who hits the hardest at that weight class and you survive it, then it really doesn't mean that much.
I mean, Tony, I get what you're trying to say. It's like, guys, it's like he's saying, like, Devin hasn't fought a puncher at Tio's caliber. Like, let's just say that Devin was in there with Tio and Tio did that to him. I think Devin would have got knocked out, or the fight would have been stopped.
Hey, real quick, we gotta get off this Tio shit. Tio out the picture, man. He out of there.
No, I was making a comparison. That's all I was doing.
I'm just saying that
I don't measuring nothing off Tio no more.
I don't think Devin's been hit by a true knockout artist for us to truly gauge his chin. I don't know how good or bad his chin is. We've seen him react badly to hard shots, but we've never seen him go down. But at the same time, we've never truly seen him get hit by somebody that can hit. So
true, but we have seen him at least been able to. I see what you're saying. He has not. Yeah, I agree with you. He has not faced a puncher like Tio, but from what I have seen, he does show to have so far a pretty solid chin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Seemingly, but again, like you said, he hasn't fought a Tio puncher yet. But from what I've seen, him getting hit, I mean, he has been able to survive and not get dropped and whatever the case may be. So I think so far he's shown to have a pretty solid chin. but just untested chin yet. Untested.
Yeah, I would. Well, I would say it's untested because it's been tested. And
I mean, untested against the upper echelon.
But
sorry,
yeah, against an elite puncher. Yeah, against an elite puncher. I would say let's keep in your mind though. Keep this in your mind. Kambosos himself had never been dropped in any single fight before he fought T.O.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Tony, let's just say Devin Haney fought a Richard Comey. Then we'll get a clear indication of like Devin's chin and his punch resistance, like how good he is at taking a shot. Because Comey can punch.
He can punch hard.
Yes. So if Devin fought Comey, we get a better gauge on how well he takes a shot, not just T.O. So.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Haney was to fight Lomachenko, which is who I think he should go. If Lomachenko beats Comey, I think the best fight for Devin Haney is to immediately go for Lomachenko if he can't get George Kambosos, because all he's got to do is beat Lomachenko, and then he proves himself to be worthy to the people who don't think he's the real champion, which he is. If he beats Lomachenko, well, that argument goes out the fucking window.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I say he's already proved himself. He beat Linares, who was a 3-division champ, and that was a good win. So, when he beat Linares, he kind of validated himself in my eyes with that win. And people can say Linares was past. People can say Linares was past it. He was old, but he was still a 3-division champ, former 3-division champ, nonetheless.
Yeah, and Tony, and so if you think it's a 75-25 type of deal, then that means if Haney beats George, that means that you're damn near shocked, right? Or at least surprised, right?
Well, I wouldn't say I would be shocked, because I'm still giving him a 25% chance. But I don't know about shocked, but I think it would be a very good win, and I think it would prove what it would do is it would solidify why I know Blacksmith saying it. I've come around and started to say it, that Devin Haney is the most ducked fighter at lightweight. It would just reinforce this is why. You're seeing it now. The guy who beat the man is now being beat by Devin Haney. Now you know why they don't want to fight him. That's what I think it would do. It would just solidify how badly he's been ducked, because he has been.
Yeah, and I'll say this last thing before I have to head out.
Me too.
Haney, and like somebody said something, I don't know if it was you or somebody, but how question about his hunger. No, I think it was UGC. Excuse me if it wasn't you, bro. I just forgot who said it, but that they said like they kind of questioned his hunger inside the ring because they try to box him in, to not be a slugger and trade, and try to just make him box, from the outside and do it worse for him the best. What's gonna also be a negative, because Haney's young and he has a lot of money. Like, he has a lot of money for a young dude. I mean, he could, with this win too, he could retire tomorrow, and it seems like he makes the right investments. He'll probably be okay for the rest of his life. He'll die a rich man. But it's like, that when you have that at such a young age, at 22 years old, the hunger can be questioned sometimes. Like how hungry will he continue to be? And so let's say he fights George and beats George, right? And he gets in a big, huge money fight worth tens of millions of dollars against maybe a Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis or something, right? Like, how long is this hunger gonna last? I think that's a factor that nobody's talking about.
I don't think. Well, do you want to respond, Black? Because he said he thought you said it.
Yeah, I'm sorry who said it. I know who said it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was me, bro. But to just comment on what you're saying, like, as far as the hunger, I mean, we don't know. We seen what happened with T.O. He beat Lomachenko, and hunger was just like, all right, I accomplished everything. Y'all need to worship me now. You see who I just beat? But it just depends. It just depends on him. If he puts that as the pinnacle, like, I mean, he says stuff like he wants to be mentioned with the greats like Ali, Floyd, all of these people, right? I don't think just beating Kambosos is going to do that. I think you got to do a whole lot more. You can get undisputed, but you seen Crawford, he like, okay, that's cool, but let me go to welterweight. There's some dogs and some big paydays up there. I think there's some people that's if he pulls this off with Kambosos, he can go to 40. It's some great fights at 40 for him. I mean, I'm talking about like Jose Cepeda, Regis Prograis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Like,
that's
at 40,
all over, man. There's some killers up there.
another opportunity for him to prove his greatness. You know, if he can do that. It's just a brutal sport, so we don't know. You know what I mean? That's why I ain't worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
here's the thing, Lenore. Here's the thing. Most guys who lose hunger are guys who come from nothing and then they get more than they've ever had, and then they're satisfied with that. Devin Haney, from what I have seen, didn't come from nothing. He had a decent upbringing. So I don't think him gaining money or fame is going to stop the hunger, because he's just being in a better situation than he already was in. But it's not like a night and day transformation. You see what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying.
And on top of that, again, like I said, his mentality, when I listen to him speak, he's the type of guy that I believe everybody wants money. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's about the money for him. I think it's about he wants to beat all the guys who are considered the best to prove that he is superior. And when you have somebody that has that mentality, I don't think they lose their hunger, because there's always going to be who's that next best guy. Oh, it's him. Well, I'm gonna go whoop him. That's what I'm gonna do. And I don't see him being like Tio. I don't see him turning into a diva. I don't see him not trying to chase people. I mean, you got to keep in mind this. He forced his mandatory and Jojo Diaz to fight him. What champions force the mandatory to fight them? It is the mandatory job to make the champion fight them, not the other way around. And Devin pushed for the Jojo fight. So I don't think hunger is ever going to be an issue with him.
Yeah, I was just
that man has been chasing. He's been trying to go. He's one of the few people that has to fight for, you know what I mean, like the politics to get his good fights. You know, get a name, his resume.
The only thing that I've heard that was kind of questionable about, again, I didn't follow the situation like I should have, but what happened between him and Gary Russell Jr.? Because I heard I heard different side. I heard that he ducked Gary Russell Jr. and then I've heard that he didn't duck him. That's the only thing only blemish I've heard, possibly heard about him.
Gary still ain't got a fight. I think Devin fought twice before Gary even got back, man.
Let me tell you something. Gary Russell is the original capper before Ryan Garcia. Gary caught out so many damn people and fought nobody. Like, he even said he was going to fight Crawford at 147 and never did. Never showed up. Even after
I forgot about that shit. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm like this man. I'm like, Gary Russell, bro, he did that. He did that. This dude is wilding, man. Thinking he going up there for it, man. I'm like, this dude is tripping.
Yeah, I was just asking because, again, I don't know what happened. I just heard rumblings that he ducked Gary Russell, and I've heard other rumblings that he didn't. So I just
it's going to be very difficult to put the duck stamp on Devin, man.
I'm not trying to. He's one of my favorite fighters. I'm just saying that, like, I was just asking you guys a question. Like, did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal. Gary would get blazed by Devin Haney. Like, I'm sorry. He's got incredibly fast hands. He looks impressive. But if he goes up to 135 and Devin's already huge for 135, he'd get dismantled. He's too small.
Too small. Yeah.
When is this guy coming back? Anybody know?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's coming up on my 2 years.
I think he pissed off about Heyman.
And with that, guys, it's been a pleasure. I have to go now. But it's been a pleasure speaking with you guys through the disagreements and agreements. You guys have at the end of the day, this is boxing and it gets heated, but you know, I wish you all the best.
Always, man.
All right, man. Hold it up.
All right, man. Take care.
I'm about to roll out too. I'm about to start mine here in the next 20 minutes, but it's always a pleasure, Tony Reviews. I like to brag because I think I was his first moderator in on his channel. Maybe he had another moderator, but I feel like I'm the first moderator he ever appointed. He got to think deeply on that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was it you or Regulator first?
It might be Regulator.
It may have been, but you and him are the only two that are mods on my channel, and it'll probably always be that way. Like,
well, I'm in the top 5, and it ain't even a top 5 yet. So
no. But well, you gotta understand, man. Me and you, we've had disagreements, especially over VADA stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I was very sporadic with making boxing videos, but I would always go over to your channel. And there was a couple other channels that I go to too. Some of no longer go around anymore because people switch up. I don't understand that. Like, switch up over a couple of views makes no sense. But and I still to this day go over to your channel. Like, I'll go over there when you go live, support you. But Yeah, man. Like, I just like people who believe in what they're saying, because there's too many people on YouTube who say shit just for a click, and they know they're full of shit.
Yeah. That comes with the territory. Been on this, man. You already know, Tony. That's how we,
Yeah, you know. I know. We know.
Well, we on the same side of the street, man. We just in a different house. You know what I'm saying? And it's UDC Flame. So if y'all want to come visit your boy, that's where I'm at. UDC Flame. Thank you, Tony Reviews, as always, my
bro. Catch him right here.
Peace.
Right there in the chat.
And thank you for that assist, my bro.
Yep. All right, AJ. I think I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. Ben, I only want to go live for an hour, and here it is, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2.5, yeah, man. Shit.
So I'm gonna let you close out the show. You go ahead and close it out. It's all you.
All right, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe to Tony's Reviews. Great channel, great guy. Definitely knows his shit. So yeah. All right. Take it easy, Tony.